because they're in a lot of pain. And so they're like, oh, let me go get this pain checked out. I've always been in pain because I broke my jaw when I was 10. And like the way I broke my jaw, I went like, and my like head snapped back. So then my neck was always like, I've always had like chronic neck and back pain my whole life. So I didn't really think anything of, I was in more pain than usual, but like, I was like, oh, it's a bad flare up. I have a pinched nerve or something. And so I didn't really think too much of it. And then around Christmas time, well, before Christmas even, on tour, I was getting really dizzy during the shows a lot. Like I was getting really, really dizzy in the fall tour, like the Chrissy Voila tour. I would get so dizzy if I like moved my head too fast or anything. And like I felt a lot of the time, I felt like I was going to pass out, but I never did. And then it started just getting worse. And then around like Christmas, I noticed I was getting horrible migraines, and I've never really gotten like a true migraine before, like a real migraine. I know this now because these were like horrible migraines. And so I was getting really, really bad migraines. I was really dizzy a lot. Like if I did too much at any point in time, like, and not even like too much, like if I was like leaning over to like pick stuff up off the floor, like, you know, if I was like cleaning up, so I was like leaning over a couple times, I'd get so dizzy. And then those dizzy spells started lasting longer and longer. Like at first I'd get dizzy for like a second, and then I started getting dizzier and dizzier and dizzier where it would not pass right away. And then I also was getting like some vision stuff, like my vision was getting blurrier. That may be unrelated, but at the time I thought it was related to like the dizziness, because I was getting dizziness, vertigo, like vision blurring and that kind of thing. And then I started like losing feeling down my arm. I would get pain down my arm, and then numbness and tingling down my arm, and then just completely losing feeling like in my like hand and my arm, in my left side. So I had a fall off of not Leo, but Duke, my trainer's horse, back in July when I was shooting the If Looks Could Kill video. I fell off, and it wasn't like a super bad fall. I landed on my back and then my head, and but my head really hurt at the time, but like not too bad. I wasn't like concussed or anything, but I didn't think anything of it. I walked it off. I felt okay later. But then fast forward to December, and I was like, well, the only thing I could think of at the time is I'm like, okay, well maybe I hit my head on that fall in July harder than I thought I did, and I had like a little minor bleed or something, like a concussion that's given me like, you know, those things take time to heal, and I'm just like getting delayed side effects, or maybe I'm like, there's something else happening that's exacerbating that, but that's the case. And so I was like, I'll go in. I went to a doctor. First they sent me to like a vision physical therapist, and I was like, I don't think vision is like the core issue here. Then I got a brain MRI, and they were like, your brain MRI looks totally fine. Shockingly, to everybody's shock, my brain looks good. And then, but at the same day that I got the brain MRI, I also got a cervical x-ray. So I got an x-ray of my neck. And on that, the doctor saw something where he was like, let's do an MRI of your cervical spine. So I go back and get a neck MRI, and they were like, oh, there's your problem. And you could see it like clear as day. It's like normally, you know how you go into the doctor and they show you the x-ray and they're like, you see that little shadow right there? And you're like, no, like the whole thing's a shadow. It's black and white. This was so clear. It was like my spinal cord, you know, was like a white tube, and then it was like with the herniation of the disc. And one of my discs had completely collapsed and like squirted out all the disc jelly or whatever it is that squirts out, and was pressing into my spinal cord. So there was like a full indent and then compressing it. And that was causing all my symptoms. But then at first they were like, you know, they weren't like, oh, you're going to die if you don't have surgery type thing. It's like, it's still optional. It's still elective. But I talked to like 8 surgeons because I'm neurotic. You know how they say get a second opinion? I got 8 opinions. And then a couple non-surgeons as well. And they all said the same thing. They were all like, you need an artificial disc replacement. If I were you, that's what I would get. Like, and if you don't get it, if you choose not to get surgery, that's up to you, but you cannot do anything remotely risky. You cannot ride horses. You cannot go like skiing or snowboarding or anything where you might have a greater increased chance of a fall. But even still, like driving in a car, etc., if you got rear-ended, because of how much like this is pressing on your spinal cord, if you were to have a fall or get rear-ended in a car or anything where your head snaps too much, you could be paralyzed. And I was like, well, it's a choice, but it's not like that good of a choice. So obviously I was like, I'm gonna go for the surgery, not just because I wanted to ride horses still, that was a big factor though, but because I was like, I don't want to be paralyzed. I was afraid to drive for months. I was like, because I found this out in December. I didn't get surgery till March. So for like 3 months, I was like so afraid to drive. I was like, especially in LA, people are nuts if you've ever driven here. Like people are terrible drivers. So I was like the whole time just like shaking, like please no one rear end me. And I am a mildly aggressive driver, to no one's surprise. I'm from New Jersey and I'm an aggressive person. But now I'm like driving in the slow lane, like 10 miles under the speed limit, constantly checking behind me. Like, oh my God, like please, 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 please. No one rear end me. So, yeah. And then the other thing that was scary though, going into the surgery, the thing that was concerning, the most scary to me about getting the surgery, because the surgery itself has a really great success rate. So it's an artificial disc replacement, not a fusion. So they just take out the damaged disc and put a new one in, and it moves and everything the same way you just normally would. So it's pretty low risk. It has like 0% fatality rate, apparently. So I felt good about that. And like any surgery has risk, but as far as risk goes, this was like about as low as you could hope. But the one risk that I was really worried about is because they go in through your neck, they go in right here. And I don't know like which way my camera's flipped. This is my left side. So because they go in through your neck, they move your vocal cords out of the way and they obviously intubate you. So there are some cases where a vocal cord has gotten damaged, and people had like prolonged, effects of their vocal cords. In rare cases, someone's had a vocal cord paralyzed from it. Less mild cases, just like months of like soreness and raspiness and things like that. And I'm also very small. Like I'm a small person. If you've never met me in person, I'm 5'2". I'm petite. So there's not like a lot of space to begin with. And they have to move your cords out of the way. So I actually changed my surgeon at the last minute because every surgeon I met with was like, it's most likely fine. It's such a rare chance that it's not going to be fine. And I met with my ENT, who's amazing. And I met with, my vocal coach and everyone and like, was really careful about it. But literally the day before I was supposed to have surgery with a different surgeon, I had a last minute consultation with a surgeon that had done a family friend who had the exact same surgery in the exact same spot, like same exact disc, same everything. And she turned out great. She had it 7 years ago, so I could really see like what it was like years later, not just like, oh, I just had this 2 months ago and it was great. And then I met with the surgeon and I told him about my concerns, and he was the first surgeon out of like all the ones that was like really locked in on voice is a priority. Voice is something to be really careful about. He's like, I'm going to make your incisions slightly bigger than I normally would to give a little bit more space. I'm going to let the anesthesiologist know we'll use a pediatric sized tube for your intubation. That way you're not, it's not as irritating to your throat. We'll be really gentle and really careful about like, just extra gentle. He's like, I'm always gentle and I'm always careful, but I'm going to be like extra, extra, extra careful. So, I just felt so good immediately. I was like, okay. And then the other part too that was crazy is he was the first surgeon that I met with that did not do the original surgery that I was going to go for does the surgery as outpatient. So you get the surgery and you go home that day. That would have been crazy. Like and then this surgeon was like, you stay overnight one night at the surgical center. And I'm like, oh God, that sucks. Like, I don't want that. I want to go home. Thank God that I stayed the night because one, I was in so much pain getting out of the surgery. I can't imagine like getting in a car that day, going home, and then like being left to my own devices to take care of it. The nurses that took care of me all night long, like all through the night, because I didn't really sleep. I like kind of dozed in and out, but like all night long until I went home in the morning, were like phenomenal. And it's just like no one could have done that good of a job at home unless you're a nurse. And I was also in so much pain, so they were giving me the good, My stream on Twitch says like it's unstable, but Also, I saw Jonas. Hi, Jonas. Bye. Yeah, let's get hot pot. I haven't had hot pot in a while. But yeah. How did I afford it? It's pretty expensive. Mine was mostly covered by insurance. There was like a part of it that wasn't, but mostly covered. I don't know if it factored into it that mine was it wasn't like elective the way like a plastic surgery might be elective. Like there was still some level of necessity, so. But now my neck, great. I can move it all around. I can do all the things. I start physical therapy soon. And like the scar is like, kind of just looks like a cat scratch. It's a little swollen, but normally I have it covered. But I had it out breathing today. My rings are from all different places, so. Oh, Tony, that's awesome. I remember that show so well. Was that the last show of the tour, Singapore? I think it was. It's kind of cool. My ska. I know I am doing like all the prep to like really take care of it very well, but this surgery was for a majorly herniated disc in my neck. Let me see if I can find what's it called? MRI photo, because it was hilarious. Oh yeah, here we go. It's just so obvious compared to like you know how you would, like I was saying earlier, you know how you look at an MRI normally or an x-ray or something and the doctor's like, you see that there? And you're like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. This was like, the first time the doctor showed it to me, he pulled it up, he goes, you see where the issue is, right? And I was like, yeah, I see where the issue is. So, can this focus? There's my issue. Can you tell where it is? So that thing that it's pressing into is, oh, let me see. So that is my spinal cord. The white like line on either side of the cord is the spinal fluid. And the darker gray part down the middle is the spinal cord itself. So, but a flesh wound. 'Tis but a scratch. So it wasn't great. But now I'm back to normal. I'm zooming. So I've gotten follow-up x-rays. Like I got them like the week after, but then I haven't gotten the MRIs yet. It's a little bit bad. But no more backbends or headbang. Backbend I might be okay to do like after physical therapy and stuff. The headbanging is probably something that I nor anyone else should do. I don't want to go through this again, so I'm going to be a little careful. The backbend isn't so much my neck, though. It's my back, but it's like more of a stretch. It's like doing bridge pose and yoga type thing, you know? It's like I don't fling myself back, like if you've seen the show or a video or anything. I don't like go where it's like it's because it's more like the whipping motion, I think, is what causes the problem. But like when I do a backbend, I like slowly go back, like I can feel it. And it's more low back than my neck. That's the problem anyway. Oh my god, I've missed so many subs, so hold on. Tom, Forest Ghost Leia, It's Ant, Shiny Lumen, Chappie, Vanillion, Isen, Runabout, Streaks, Julian, Diesel, Kazuo, Star Violet, Celigo, Toretta de Credito, Draculator? Wait, Doctor, see you later. Doctor, see you later. That's good. I like that. The Major Mistake, Kill It Boss, Ethereum, King Gray Jr., Raiki, Sinking Hammer, Veluria, Anonymous Gifter. Hey, thanks for the 5 gifted subs, Anonymous. Svenchi, thank you for the 9 months. Kidder Kaylee, thank you so much. Christmas. Okay, Mad Head. Okay. Back where we are. Made it. Crushed it. Do I speak Spanish? No. In Spanish. En español. Why did I have surgery? Oh my god. I had a herniated disc in my neck. Very herniated disc. Have you noticed it affecting how you sing at all? So, I haven't really sang that much yet. Because, I'm still waiting. So, I have a lot of swelling still in here. Like, my neck is still quite a bit swollen. And when you sing, like, your, like, for guys, like the Adam's apple, where your larynx is, it's, like, more pronounced on guys, so it's easier to see. But on girls, it's, like, so mine's, like, right around here. That goes up and down when you sing, and that's how you, like, give space and control your vocal cords and everything. And so it's still a bit swollen, so it's hard for me to actually fully drop my larynx. So even when I talk, I'm, like, talking a little higher lately because it's a little more comfortable right now. But yeah. So I don't know yet. I sang, like, a little bit in my car and stuff. I've driven myself only twice so far. But I think it's fine. I think my stamina might be a little low because I think in general, I'm really tired a lot right now. I think just having surgery takes it out of you. I've never really had, like, a big surgery or anything. I had my wisdom teeth removed. But I was also a lot younger. I was 20, so, 10 years makes a difference. So, and the problem was after my surgery, too, is I was in so much pain, so I was taking so many pain meds, but the pain meds really didn't make me feel very good, so I didn't want to eat. It was really hard to, like, stomach food, so I wasn't, for, like, the first week, I really wasn't eating, like, at all. And I had so much throat pain that it was really hard to, like, swallow anything. Even stuff like pudding or smoothies or, like, Pediasures, Ensures, like, those, like meal shake things, it just felt like swallowing knives, so I wasn't eating a lot. So then I was also getting really dizzy still, and I was really weak, and so now I think I'm still recovering from that, where I'm just like, I feel really weak, so everything exhausts me really fast. No way you're 30? I'm not 30 yet this year, though. I turned 30 in August. When can you meet Horsey Boy again? I've gotten to see him 3 times since my surgery. Once I went, like, a week or 2 weeks after because I missed him so much, and I had to be really, really careful. Then I just went to see him. So I'm still on a 10-pound weight restriction, which is really tough because everything weighs more than 10 pounds. Obi weighs more than 10 pounds. My pot that I cook in, like my cast iron pot, weighs more than 10 pounds. So it's a pain in the butt, but so I'm on a 10-pound weight restriction still. So obviously if I'm, like, walking Leo on the lead rope, if he pulls, that's a lot more than 10 pounds worth of force. So I can't really do too much yet, but I did go to see him on Sunday, and like I was taking him out to, like, the bigger arena to just, like, run around and play, and no one else was there, so I was like, I have to walk him out myself if I want to take him there. And I just, like, looked at him and I was like, listen, buddy, Mom is a little broken right now. I was like, I'm gonna walk you to the arena to turn you out, and if you pull, I have to just let go, and we have to figure this out later and panic. So, and then he was such an angel, so I walked him out, and he just, like, I didn't even have to hold the rope. He would have just followed and come with me. He was so good. He was such a good boy. He has been doing the Happy Horse Zoomies. So I actually moved him right before my surgery to a different barn with a new trainer and everything. And he's been doing so well. They fixed his feet up. Like, the woman that is, like, he's now training under is, like, amazing. She's done everything. Like, she's an maybe currently she's like a pro barrel racer, but also, like, has done everything. Like 100 jumper, dressage, like, done it all the Western disciplines and things. So she's so cool. And so now she's got him, and she's working with him and training him, and he's doing so good. And she just knows, she's so knowledgeable, and she's so on it with her horses. So she had her farrier come and do all the horses, and she said to me, she was like, his feet were really imbalanced, and so we rebalanced him and this and that. And these are all things that just, like, I didn't know. So yeah. So I'm like, he's doing so well. So, like, when I went and I turned him out, and then I brought him to groom him because he was really dirty. It was earlier in the morning, so he had like just woken up and he had like rolled in his poop and everything. So I went to go like look at his feet, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna try and pick out your feet, but if some horses are like not great with keeping their feet up, and like you have to really hold them up, and I'm like, I can't do that more than 10 pounds. So I just like tapped his foot, and he was really good about just like lifting his foot up, and then his feet look so good. It's like a night and day difference. Rebalance, is he a horse or a car? He's a horse, but in a person, you can be kind of like lopsided a little bit. Like, I think I'm a little lopsided. Like, one of my hips is like higher than the other hip. And it's like, it's not good for you over time. It causes pain and stuff. And so sometimes someone will put like an insole in their shoe or something to like balance them out, that kind of thing. So it's the same thing with horses. It's like, as their hooves grow, if you don't like cut them down well and know what you're doing with them, they could be unbalanced. They could cause them pain and discomfort. And it's one thing when they're, like, running around, on their own. But it's another thing if they have a rider on their back and you're adding that weight. If they're unbalanced, it's going to exacerbate it all. It's going to be doing the balance board. I got a balance board to, like, stand on. It's over here. I got, like, a balance board to stand on at my desk when I stand at my desk too long. Because I have a sit-down desk. My elevator shoes are different heights. One is 10 floors, the other is 9.5. Honestly, I should get different height shoes. Balance boards are insane. This one's not like a crazy one. This one's like meant to use like while standing at your desk, so it's not like an extreme one. But I realize I am very out of balance. I'm just out of shape in general, because after having surgery, it's like I was basically post-surgery, I was immobile for like, it's been about a month now, so basically a month I'm like just starting to get back into like life. Pretty much like just homebound. And before that, because I was one, in so much pain, but two, so restricted on what I could do because I didn't want to exacerbate the injury, and three, I would get dizzy with everything that I did. I couldn't really do much physical activity, so I'm like so out of shape at this point because of all that. And I just get like, so the balance board, like everything, I get winded so easily. Like, even just talking a lot, like, I feel it, which is a crazy thing to say. Where did I go? I went shopping the other day. So I have an Indian wedding this weekend, and I had to go get, for the ceremony, it's Indian attire. So I had to go get a lehenga, and I went to a store, and I tried on the lehenga, and I was there probably like 30 minutes total. By the time I got in my car, like from like changing and walking around the store and everything, I was like I was so out of breath. I felt so tired. And then by the time I got home, I was like, I've never been to an Indian wedding. I'm so excited. This one's so it's kind of a hybrid of Indian and Western, which is, so the ceremony is Indian attire and the reception is Western attire. Well, I guess you could do either, but for the Western guests, non-Indian guests, they're kind of like, please wear Indian attire to the ceremony, but for the reception, wear Western clothes. So yeah. But I've never been to one. I'm supposed to go to one next year in India, so that's should be cool. Thank you. So I got crazy. I was like, I decided if I'm gonna, I've never worn Indian like clothing before, and I was like, well, at first I'm like looking for like muted colors, because like I don't usually wear very colorful things, and obviously like Indian clothing is very colorful and bright and vibrant. And then I was just like, you know what? No, I'm committing. Like, I'm gonna, follow this. Like, I was like holding this like pastel, like light, soft, like cornflower blue dress at first, and I was like, no. And so I tried on a like bright, deep, rich purple lehenga. And am I saying, is it lehenga or is it lenga? I can't, I was trying to watch videos of people saying it, but I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. And I tried it on, and it was so beautiful, so I went with that. I don't have it right now. It's getting, like, it's Jenga, but with an L, so Lenga. Does it come in black? I know, that's why at first I was like, ooh. And, well, and then the other thing is my favorite color of colors that are not black is red, but in Indian weddings, that's for the bride. So I was like, okay, I can't wear red. And then there was some really pretty pink ones, but then I got nervous that they looked like too close to red, you know? Because, like, you know, like Western weddings, I was like, I don't want to be the person that, like, you don't want to be the person that comes in, like, a weird, like, light rose pink that's, like, almost white. So you're like, let me err on the safe side. Peach. I don't think... I could try, but I don't know if I would look very good in peach because I'm so pale. I feel like I would be very washed out. You don't want to outdo the bride either. I don't think... So that was the other thing is, like, when I was watching... So I went down, like, a TikTok rabbit hole and stuff. Everybody is like, you cannot outdo the bride. Like, at an Indian wedding. Like, you cannot outdo them. Like, you will not. Like, they're just... They're going to the nines. So it's like, don't... You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to outdo them. Sorry, and when I say you can't outdo them, I don't mean, like, it's a rule. You're not allowed to. I mean, like, you're not capable of it. Like, they're going to look like royalty. Let me see if I could find... see if I can find a picture of the... like, one that looks similar to what I got. I think it's, like... Is it this one? I'm trying to remember what the top looks like now. And the woman was... Oh, God. This woman... I got so lucky. So, there is a little India area in Artesia? In, like, so south of LA, but that's, like, pretty far for me to drive, so I got really lucky. I went to one store up in the valley, and it was, like, the only one around, because I didn't realize, so this is Tucker's friend, and he didn't tell me that we needed to wear Indian until, like, the last minute, Indian attire, and so I'm, like, I was looking online, and all the lead times are too long, and even if you get it a shorter lead time because you don't have it sized to you, like, you still have to then get it sized to you. So I was like, okay, I need to go in person. So I go in person, and I just got so lucky. This lady was so unbelievably helpful. You could tell she gets a lot of people that are, like, first time going to an Indian wedding, and I was like, I don't know what to wear. Like, and she was awesome. She was so sweet, and yeah. It was very nice. Luke. I was, like, looking for your comment, but I just see people replying to it. Oh, there it is. Oh, I forgot you're a moderator. I was looking for the, like, the pink diamond of like, VIP. You've leveled up. Okay, wait. I have the picture. Can I, like, just drag this into... Maybe I can't. I thought I could drag this into... sources. Okay, well, let's see. Media file, add a new source, browse. Why is it not showing up? Maybe I didn't save it as a photo. Oh, maybe that's why it's not. Okay, hold please. I don't remember if this is the exact... Like, I don't think this is the exact one. It might be the exact one, but it's similar to this. Save image as. Okay. Wait, oh, no, that didn't work again. copy. Open image in new tab. Okay, hold on. Save image as. Oh, it's only letting me save it as a WebP file, which is a pain in the butt. That's not what I want. Okay, hold on. I can screenshot it. Snipping tool, new. Huzzah! Okay. Save. Hello. I'm on stream. Hi.
What's Toby doing?
He's just chilling. I'm showing them my Lenga. Which I don't know, once again, I don't know if this is the exact... Ah! There we go.
I thought you'd be playing Age of Wonders 4.
No, I haven't. I'm not playing any game. Well, I was giving the surgery update and stuff. I've been playing a lot of Age of Wonders 4. I just started playing it like 3 days ago, and I'm obsessed with it. But anyways, sorry. This is my Lenga, and I think, or similar. It's very similar. If it's not that one exactly, but it's similar. And has the same. Is it a sash? But I've never worn a purple like that before. To Dupata? Oh. Has anyone else seen the TikTok drama with that right now? With like, I think it was like Opali or like some of those like clothing lines. Bye, Luke. What's wrong with your neck? I done broke it. Well, not really, though. I got a herniated disc. I gotta make a bot command about the injury. Yeah, I do. That would actually probably be really good. But yeah, this is what I'm wearing, or something similar to it. I don't know if it's exactly that, but it's like that. Any use for the Spotify shirt in cards pack? Let me ask. I thought they were sent out, but I don't know. Are asking about the Spotify shirt, etc. Did that. I just asked, so. Oh, the lady was so nice in the store, like helping me get fitted, and she was getting it tailored for me and everything. And the cost of the Lenga was like the same thing that I was seeing online. So I was like, cool, great. And then I was like, and I need jewelry. Like, you know, I don't have any jewelry to go with it. Cause like I wear like this. and so she shows me a set of jewelry which had like green on it. And I was like, perfect, great. Like, and it was like earrings and a necklace and, is it Tika? Which I don't think I'm going to wear because one, I don't know how to. And two, it was like, I couldn't figure out. I mean, if anyone knows the answer to this online, it was like, guests don't wear that, but maybe they do. I don't know. But I was like, I don't know. I don't want to. And I also wouldn't know. I don't know. I was like, how do I put it in? She's like, a bobby pin. And I was like, I am not good with a bobby pin. Me and a bobby pin don't go. But anyways, set of earrings, necklace, and a Tika. And I was like, okay, cool. How much? And she was like, $100. And I was like, that must be what it cost because, you know, the dress was the same. The Lenga was the same as online. Then I go, and then she was trying to find some like extra like bangles for me. And they were just too big. So I was like, it's fine. I'll go on Amazon and like, you know, try and find something. And so I went on Amazon and I like, the first thing I typed in was like Indian wedding jewelry, because I was like, I don't know what else to type in. And one of the first things that comes up is the exact set of jewelry that I bought from this woman, but I bought it from her for $100, and it was like $24. Well, okay, I'm looking at, oh no, this one has a lot more pieces. Yeah, it was like, okay, now this one is $42. When I saw it last night, I think it was like $39. So, but that's okay. Supporting my girl. She was so nice though. She was so sweet. She was also like a full head shorter than me, which was awesome because I don't meet a lot of people that are like my size or shorter, much less like a full head shorter. And I was like, wow, this is what people feel like when they talk to me. She was so tiny. Like she was just really like the tiniest thing ever. But yeah. But so I like, you know, that one I may have gotten a little bit scammed on, but that's okay. But the Lenga was like the exact same price as like all the online ones. So I'll show you what, and I'm mixing colors, which she said was okay. So I'm wearing, once again, I wear silver jewelry. Like I'm boring, you know, I don't even have colorful jewelry. And I, what's it called? And so this one has like green gems to go with the purple. But yeah. But so I'm excited. It should be fun. I can't remember exactly what it looks like. That I have upstairs. It might have been like this. No, it wasn't like that. I was going to show you a picture of what I got. She was so nice. And she doesn't like, it wasn't anything additional for like the tailoring or anything or for the rushing because I needed it so last minute. So I was like, it all felt very worth it. And I wouldn't have known. Like, I wouldn't have known what to buy off Amazon, you know? So I'm like, whatever. I would have been looking at it and being like, is this, like, appropriate or not? So it was nice having someone there that was like, yeah, this is good. You can wear this. I had surgery on my cervical spine, my neck, for a herniated disc. I had an artificial disc replacement. I love tavern music. I had like a Green Dragon Inn and Chill playlist on yesterday when I was working. It was awesome. Ooh, this is pretty. This set is really pretty, but oh, it comes in different colors. I was gonna say, but it's in blue. It doesn't really match my vibe, but it does come in different colors. Is that purple? If that's a purple one, maybe I'll... I don't know. Because I have my purple dress. Also, it was really I really did like the jewelry though too because it was very lightweight, which I was a little worried about because I don't wear big jewelry, and I was like that looks heavy, and then it was like not heavy at all, and I was like nice. Was she a hobbit or a yordle to be that short? She was just so tiny. Oh, I didn't do it yet. We don't actually know what caused it. I got him, you know what? I don't know what it's called. Like the shirt. Is it a kurta? I think that's what it's called. That's what he's got. What's the topic? Oh, yeah. We were talking about the Indian wedding I'm going to this weekend. Also, going into that store made me very excited. I have another one to go to potentially in January. Is it January or February? Next year. One of those. Because I was like, there's just so many beautiful clothes. No, I want to wear another one. Didn't Haley Williams have similar neck issues? Did she? Did she get surgery? Hey, twins. Cheese update? Should I know what that means? What kind of cheese? She spoke about how silly she was headbanging. Yeah, it ruins your neck. Apparently. But once again, I don't know if that's what mine is from or not. So, we can't say for sure. Has anyone played Age of Wonders 4? When Chrissy TFT Pro Career? Oh! I have a grievance with Lord Rito. I don't like this set. And it takes a lot for me to say I don't like something that Riot does, I think, because I like a lot of things that Riot does. I'm a very loyal follower of the things that I like, you know? I'm not like quick to criticize. Maybe I'm very quick to I don't know. But I just don't like this TFT set. I don't like the mechanics of it are one thing, and I really don't even like I don't like the theming of it. It's so cyberpunky feeling that it doesn't feel anything like the League universe to me. And I know people are like, it's TFT, it's not League. But, like, it uses all the League champions. So, it's at least in the universe. And I just, like, I don't know what anything is. I'm like, what the fuck is Nitro? What is all of this stuff? What's anime? Like, there's so many. And I know they're like, some of them are based off skins and stuff. But it's just so themed that I'm like, I can't tell who anyone is. Because, you know, like, in most sets, how like the different things, what are they called? Like the features will have like a similar look to them. I feel like everything kind of looks the same on this one. Like they all look in that same cyberpunk, neon-y cyberpunk world. So like I can't tell what champion is what unless I hover over them. And I'm like, you're telling me that's who? Okay. Yeah, you can never tell who anyone is. Yeah, exactly. Even if you use the skins in the game itself, can't the icon still just be the normal like icon? So I'm very confused all the time. So I've only played a few, but I got to Emerald last season. I didn't stream any of it, of course. The first time I get that far in ranked, I got to Emerald. So I was pretty proud about that. It's the highest I've ever peaked in a ranked anything. Woo! Didn't we get you close to Diamond? Yes, I was Plat, but that's before they introduced Emerald as a tier. So I was close. And then that was like I think the season before Emerald became a thing. In TFT. And then I got hard stuck. I really need glasses. I can't see. Everything is so blurry. I don't like this. I don't like wearing glasses. It bothers my face. I'm gonna end up being a contacts person. Because I can't do it. But I'm also really bad at putting in contacts. Don't get into League. So, Also, I heard that Annie's getting a buff, so I wanted to like play League again. This is my time to return back to League, obviously. That's always what happens. But I am so confused because I haven't played League in I don't even know how long. I am like I watch the LCK, which ruins my sleep schedule. So I'm so confused by like all the new changes. I have no idea what anything is on the map at this point. Like there's the grubs and then there's the what is the other thing that's like in the top river now? What is that thing called again? Atacon? How do you pronounce that? Atacon? What are you? I don't know what it is though. And then there's so many new champions too, like because they release champions so fast. So I just feel like I'd have to start playing from scratch at this point. Which T1 drama? It can also spawn bot side too. Oh, well, great. Draven, thanks for the 9 months. Oh yeah, I'm behind again. Draven, Gwen, thank you so much. Vincent, thank you so much. Twitchy, thank you so much. Gata, thank you. Xavier, Soul Power, Cake Aries, Hell Defender, Passy Heart, It's Conpon, Nat Sucks, Rocket Thor, Skyon, Enio, thank you so much. Gohan or Go Home, awesome name. Florius, will we ever get a part 2 of the tour? I don't know. Up Clouds. Nita, thank you so much. Tutu. I think I'm caught up, but I can't. Sir Dunker, thank you so much. I'm trying not to miss anyone. Guma and Smash ADC T1 drama. Ooh. I don't know. I don't want. I don't even want to offer my 2 cents because I don't want anyone to come for me. Because the drama is so crazy. Like, the fans are kind of scary. So I'm like, you don't need to know my opinion. Ikater, thank you so much. I'm sorry. Drama. So the drama is basically right now T1 technically has 2 ADCs. Gumayushi, which is he's been part of the winning roster the last 2 years, like the world's winning roster, but he's, you know, been on for what is it 3 or 4 years now. And Smash is an ADC that they've signed this year. And basically they're like trading back and forth who's on bench and who's in. Kind of like competing, I guess, in a way for like who deserves to be in the ADC slot. I don't know. I don't, to be fair, like, I don't really know anything about Smash, so I can't really speak to that at all. Like, I don't have a good opinion about that. I feel sad for Guma because I think he won 2 worlds with this team. And, like, so obviously, like, the synergy of the 5 is really good, but we obviously lost Zeus. And so I feel bad for Guma that he's in this position just because I think it's sad to me how hard the fans have turned on Guma. I mean, I'm sure there's like a camp shoe that's very supportive of Guma, but I've seen a lot of like Guma hate. And I don't know, I've met Guma a few times and he's really sweet. He's a really nice person. Like he's really, in my experience, my personal experience, I don't know him that well, but just what little I do know, he's always been very kind and very sweet. So it just makes me sad to see, you know, he's a back-to-back champion too, and people are really mean about it. And I get it, like, you know, but not, you have to look forward and do what's best for the team. And, you know, the fans have different opinions on who they think is the right person. I guess. So I can't speak to who's right, or I'm not good enough at League to understand like who's good or not, who's better. I don't like seeing the hate. I think that makes me really sad. That like when Guma was in, he was getting a really bad hate. Like the T1 fans were like would send trucks to the arena. What's it called? What's it called? What? I'm shorting out. Law Park. And I just felt bad. I was like, oh, that's so mean. Like, you know, it feels really bad, especially for he's, you know, like I said, he's a back-to-back champion and he's just a good person. Not speaking to who's, I don't know. I don't really know anything about Smash, like, so I don't know who's better or anything like that. I just wish for neither of them. I felt the same way about when Doran came to T1. Like, I know people were really upset about the Zeus situation, and I was like, please, just no one hate on Doran. Don't let him get caught in the crossfire. Because that to me just, it feels sad. It's like, let's at least everyone just be welcoming. It's not his fault, you know? And I feel that way about both Smash and Guma, where it's like, both of them are just trying to be the best ADC possible and be on the team. So it's like, stop hating on them. You know, stop bullying them. What did I play at the Denver PQ? Oh, so so if you didn't know, I played in a Star Wars Unlimited, the trading card game tournament, in Denver like a week or 2 weeks ago or something like that. I played the now banned Django, Tarkentown. So my Triple Dark Raid and my Django got banned. I didn't do very well because I didn't really know what I was doing. I also didn't know some of the rules. Like, afterwards, this one person was really nice. They were like, did you know that you could do this? And I was like, I had no idea. So, because I was still fairly new. But, yeah. Now I've been playing on Carabas a little bit, and I found a deck that's, like, it's really good. I have, like, a very high win rate on it, but it's so boring. I think it won the Liverpool qualifier. It was the wow, my brain is so offline today. It's a blue, what's the name? Oh, hold on, let me look up the SWU decks. Liverpool. It's not that guy. What hero is it? Am I out of my mind today? No, it wasn't Thrawn. Am I stupid? Don't answer that. It wasn't Thrawn, it wasn't Piet, it wasn't Han. I need to find this. Hold on. What's the... Hold on. Oh, Bosk! Bosk, that was it. Yes, Brighter said it was Bosk. Yeah, I played a Bosk deck. Let's see, that was at... Yeah, I used the Bosk deck from this... I was playing with from the... If you're interested at all here. Am I logged into this? I'm like never logged into this. Here. If you're interested, it's this deck. I'm back! Michael, thank you so much for the sub. Johnny, thank you for the sub. Blood Raven, thank you for the sub. Force Goes Leia, thank you for the sub. Schmock, thank you for the sub. Jammu, thank you so much. Maurice, thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try the League TCG. I love a TCG. Mick Tom, thank you so much. I'm like an older sister to you. That's so nice. I hope I get to meet you soon. Can you totally 360 your head now that's bionic? Unfortunately not. They didn't give me the owl upgrade. What about Starfall though? Starfall is, so I've been working nonstop, like around the clock on Starfall basically. We have 2 projects and I just don't think I can tell you anything yet, unfortunately. But soon, one of them is coming out this year for sure. But I've been working nonstop on it. Thank you! Thanks for liking the Final Phoenix song. Can we get another Starfall playthrough again, please? Like a D&D one? Yeah, we have to. Don't break the NDA. Well, okay. I can break the NDA because I own the company. I own it, so I'm the only one who could sue me for breaking the NDA. How are you coping with Lando, though? Oh, thanks for asking. It was actually way harder. So, for context, for anyone that doesn't know, we had 3 cats. We lost Lando, our oldest cat, in January. It was much harder than I even expected it to be. Like, because with Lando, he has been sick for a really long time. He's always been sick, really. So Tucker's had him since he was a kitten. I met Lando when he was already 7. And when Lando was 4, he was diagnosed with kidney disease. And, you know, he was the runt, so he had undersized and misshapen kidneys. And so he wasn't expected to have a very long life. He surpassed all expectations, and he was so sick so many times. And he was very, very sick. I would say 2 years ago, he got really sick. He got a freak infection in his chest, and he almost died. And we had to do this, you know, we did this life-saving procedure for him that was like a 50-50 chance that it would even work, that he would even survive the surgery, much less than what would happen next. And against all odds, he survived, and he was home for months after that with a feeding tube in his nose, and we had to feed him through a feeding tube, do all his meds through a feeding tube. It was like 5 hours of care a day for like 2 months. And he beat the odds despite it and came back stronger and better than ever. And then he started getting more and more sick again, especially over the last year. He had this cyst growing on his kidneys that he had this lesion on there forever, but there was nothing we could do about it. And then eventually it became a cyst and started filling up with fluid, and his kidney values started rising. And, you know, we did everything that we could, every option, like short of a full kidney transplant, which we looked into, but without not just being very expensive, they're also pretty risky and, you know, not well known. And there's a whole lot with that too, some ethical stuff, etc. So he just started getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and then eventually it was like come December, he was basically in like essentially hospice at home. We had to give him fluids under the skin every day, a lot of meds. He didn't do much. And then, you know, 2 weeks before he passed, he was so emaciated, skinny, and we kept having to take him to get the cyst drained because it would fill up. He would look pregnant. But his like whole back and everything was so bony. And so we were trying to then just get him to eat anything. So then we were giving him chicken and stuff that he couldn't have before that. And then the morning that we made the decision to put him down, it was like it was very obvious. We knew that it was coming. Like, since December, we knew that we were within the last couple of months max, maybe weeks. And then the day that, that we did it, we got up that morning and it was just so clear. Like, he wouldn't even get out of bed to go eat chicken. Like, he couldn't get up. So I would bring him, I brought it to him in bed. And, it was just pretty obvious that if we didn't do it that day, it would have been a few days later. It would have happened probably on its own, but with a lot more suffering and pain. So that's the hardest thing, though, is making the decision, because you don't want to wait till all the good is gone and they're just pure suffering. But you also, when there is any amount of happiness, like any amount of joy that you see in them, you're like, how could I possibly take this life away? And it's hard to know, so that was the hardest part. And then it was just brutal. Like, we were both very, very depressed for a while. More than I thought somehow more than, and not to compare them, but more than Sammy. I don't know if it's just because I didn't live with Sammy anymore. But the way it felt like losing a child, I think was the thing. So it was and I've never felt that, he was entirely in our care and everything. So it was so brutal. And then you start remembering, it's funny how a week, 2 weeks later after, the first week or two we were just zombies. And then after that you start remembering all the good things that haven't been present for a while. I think this happens with, if you have, sick people in your life as well as sick animals. It's all of a sudden, when they're gone, if they've been sick for a while, you start remembering, I remember when my grandpa passed away, you start remembering all of a sudden, oh yeah, he was like this. The last year, 2 years wasn't, representative of who they really were. I start looking back on photos of Lando from a month before he passed, 2 months, and then compared to a year, 2 years. And I'm like, oh, he hasn't really been himself in a while, has he? So, but I have this photo of him that I took. That's my phone background now. And it kind of kills me because it just kind of looks like he's walking into the gates of heaven. Let me see. He's just looking out. He was so happy that day being outside. I have my vocab. Don't mind it. There you go. And you're just this is my little boy. And he was also, he was very feisty. So him and Obi couldn't be together anymore for a year and a half, maybe the last year and a half. So Lando would be in the bedroom and Obi and Luke would be in the rest of the house. And Lando was okay with that because he wasn't very, he's not a super active cat, but he's just companionship. And I just remember leaving the bedroom door open for the first time in a year and a half, and how weird it looked to come around the corner and see the door open. And something so simple as that, I started sobbing because you just realized, oh, they're not in there. I'm not going to walk in and open the door and he's not going to run up. It was such a weird experience. It was like the feeling of when you go to take a sip of what you think is water and it's actually juice. And you're even if you like juice, the way your brain processes that, you're that was really weird. Because you were expecting water. It was that, walking around the corner, I'm expecting to see the door shut. And when it was open, it was so jarring. It was really tough. I miss him a lot. It still feels weird. I thought a few months later it would feel a little bit more normal by now, but it still feels weird. Even just the dynamic of having, it's hard to go down in number when you're used to having 3 cats. Now 2, it's when everyone in the house is in the same place, 2 of us and 2 cats, it feels empty, it feels quiet. So I got my stomach growl. Can you hear that? I never eat before stream. I really should do that. But he was just such a good little boy, and he was such a good little fighter. But it was really, he had been sick for so long. But yeah, I thought, long story long, I really thought that would make me more prepared for it, is because he had been sick for so long and we had almost lost him multiple times. So I was like, when this finally happens, I'll feel peace with it, because I know that we did everything that we could, and I know that he fought back from the brink of death so many times, and it's his time that he deserves to take, a long, long, long nap. But boy, was I wrong. It just wrecked me. He was such a little cuddle bug too. And he was so smart. And he was I think the other thing is Lando left a really big gap, like a really big space, because he was so communicative. Like, he would meow and like look at you in the eyes and like really, you could tell like he was trying to say something very specific, not just like get your attention. He was very, very smart and good at communicating. And so it's like, it feels quiet. Like, I would get up and get ready in the morning, and he would like come run into the bathroom with me while I was doing my makeup or my hair, and he would sit on the counter, and I would look at him and go, meow, and he would look back at me and go, meow, and I go, meow, 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 and he would, meow, meow, meow. And we go back and forth like 30 times, like maybe more. Like, we just go back and forth, and I'm like, we're having a full conversation. And so then like getting up and getting ready in the morning, and it's just like quiet, and you're like, where's my little boy, But then on the other side of it, Obi has gotten much clingier and cuddlier. So Obi's very, like, typically very chaotic. But he's, like, become much more baby since then. Like, he's under me right now. He's, like, always by my side. Thank you, Gio. Sardinia loves Chrissy. Sardinia? So I did my DNA, my ancestry, and I was like 86% Sardinian or something, which was funny because none of my family is from Sardinia, so I don't know what that means. And then I looked it up. I was like, how is it Sardinian and not like Tuscan or Italian in general, etc.? And apparently Sardinian DNA is distinct in some way. 85% sardine. But yeah, I don't know how accurate those things are, but like those tests, but I thought it was so interesting because then I went down a rabbit hole about like the Sardinian ethnicity and how it was like, let me look at this. I'll read this to you because I don't want to misquote myself. Miss Sardinian. Ba-ba-da! Let me find it. There's something that I read about it. Now I'm trying to find it. Oh, and Tucker found this, of course, looking at it, and he was looking at like typically what do like Sardinian like physical traits, and they tend to be shorter. Bam. Genetic history of Sardinian. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Trying to find like what I read. Okay, yeah. While Sardinians are Italian citizens and are part of the Italian nation state, they are not genetically Italian in the same way as other Italians. They have a distinct genetic history stemming from their isolation and early Neolithic roots, setting them apart from the rest of the Italian population. Isn't that crazy? I would have never thunk that. Sardinians are known for being 3 feet tall. But isn't that so crazy? Yeah, while Sardinia was influenced by Roman and other Italic migrations, This influence did not result in a complete blending with the genetic makeup of mainland Italy. Sardinian genetics remain distinct due to the island's early settlement and relative isolation. Crazy! Who would have thunk? How did the audition go that I had to talk like Mark Wahlberg? I never heard back, which is not surprising. I don't. So, yes, I am Sicilian. So this is genetically Sardinian, but my grandfather is from Sicily. So my 4 grandparents' families are from 4 different parts of from Italy. So I have Sicilian, I have 1 from Sicily, 1 family from Bari, 1 family from Naples, and 1 family from Genoa. But just because their family and a couple of generations of their family are from there, the genetics, I think, go way further back. Isn't that crazy, though? I would have never known that, like, Sardinia had a totally different gene pool. Not, like, totally different, but different-ish. The surgery was for a herniated disc I had in my neck. So, this is my scar. So I had a herniated disc that was pressing on my spinal cord, so I had to have a disc replacement. I have played the new TFT set. I need to play more of it, but so far I didn't like it very much. So I need to go back. I'm gonna come back with more facts about the history of Sardinia. One of these days. Maybe I'm just gonna discover so many things about myself now. That's how they calculate your percentage. They are based off of which genetics are more common in specific areas. That's interesting. Choo-choo-choo. Bye, Force Ghost. So, I don't think my vocal cords were hurt during the operation, but I haven't tried, like, fully singing yet. If anything, I think it would be more like my larynx being able to drop enough. But we'll find out. This piece of hair is doing some weird things. I need to learn how to use rollers. Have you ever thought about getting into acting or voice acting? I'm trying to get into voice acting. I just haven't booked a role. But I'm trying to get into it. But that's why someone was asking when I had to talk like Mark Wahlberg. Boston's not my accent. What is it? Wahlberg? How do you talk in a Boston accent again? All that studying and I lost it. Baston. Macky Mac. There it is. All I could do is a British pirate, yes. But like a campy, kitschy, like type of British pirate. Not even like a good one. Pretend like I just got my nails done. What do you mean? Like nails? What's the ugly barnacle? Oh!
There once was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly, everyone died. The end. Careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob! You had it set to M for Minnie, when it should be set to W for Wumbo. I Wumbo, you Wumbo, he, she, we, Wumbo. Wumbology? The The study of Wumbo? It's first grade SpongeBob.
Love Patrick. I love SpongeBob. You're northern. Oh my god, I was talking about this the other day. Why was I talking about that? The McDonald's order for, okay, for context. So I think it was on the Nightmares and Daydreams tour. Me, Dan, Izzy, some other people might have been. We were in a McDonald's in Manchester at like 1 a.m. and it was clearly after like club night got out as well. So there was like a billion uni students in there. It was so crowded. This was the must have been the most popular McDonald's that I've ever seen. And it was fucking bumping in there. So the girl is on the mic, and she's got the mic, and she's calling out the numbers. And she's not like 427. She's got the most aggressive accent I've ever heard. I don't know if this is a Manchester accent or like what accent this is. She goes, number 66. I was like, what did you say? And then it got very confusing because she would do the way she would pronounce 30s and 40s were similar. So, and like 50 almost. So it would be like 45. And I was like, is that 34, 44, or 54? Because I'm really not sure at this point. 43. And it was so aggressive. No, it wasn't Scottish. It was some British. But it was like, 66, 45. Oh, sorry. I won't pick up the mic anymore. Could be Scouse. Maybe. It was crazy. Number 53. And I was like, but the 66. It was 66. Like SACKSTEE. 60. It doesn't sound Manchester or Scouse to me. Listen, I could not be doing it justice potentially in my what's it called? In my, not reincarnation of it, not reinterpretation of it. What am I doing? It was awesome though. Reenactment, that's the word. Yes, reenactment. Wow, my brain is fried. Let's see, Manchester accent, because it might just be me. Manchester accent.
Hello and welcome back to this British accent series. Today we're back up north and we're looking at the Manchester accent. So who is going to help us? This is Cora. Cora is from Manchester. That means she's a Mancunian, or some would say a Manc. Hello, Cora.
A Mancunian and a Manc? How did I not know this? Mancunian?
Hello. There are many variations of the Mancunian accent, so what we're looking at today is just general, all right? So the Mancunian
this girl is not the
accent
Manchester
a
one.
northern accent, but there are some
Cora
specific
is.
features specific for the people from Manchester. And if you're trying to achieve a Mancunian and perhaps
Okay, let Cora talk.
here in Manchester, chudde, chewing gum.
Chudde. What? That's chewing gum? Is that real? Tell me that's real.
Can I have some chudde? Could I have some chewing gum?
Chudde.
Miva. Trouble. Sorry to Mivia. I'm sorry.
How did I never know any of this? Why have you not taught me these things, people?
Sorry to trouble you. Gagging. Thirsty. I'm gagging for some water.
No way! That's not real. Is that real? I'm gagging for some water? That's what you... Is that real?
Thirsty for some water. Dead. Very. Oh, that were dead good. Oh, that was
I feel like that's more normal.
good. Mint.
Mint.
That one mint.
I know that one.
Excellent. Scriking. crying. Stop skriking. Stop crying.
Skriking?
Brew. Cup of tea. Do you want a brew? I love a cup of tea.
Brew's not beer?
Strop. Tantrum.
Strop.
She had a strop. She had a tantrum. Snide. Tight.
Okay, wait, this is like not really accent though. This is slang. I want the accent.
Hello everyone and welcome. Might be that you're just Oasis.
Okay.
The whole, so that's a accent. But where, so you'll normally, Manchester accent has a much more nasal quality. A lot of the words are much more from here. So you'll find that you need to compress your mouth a little bit more to get this more nasal feature. Now,
Is she talking in Manchester accent right now? Because if she is, there's something about the like, when she says more, little bit more, like that, like sound is so comforting to me for some reason. I think because we've spent so much time there. Like whenever we get up, start going up to Manchester and people start talking like that, I just like, I feel safe. I don't know why. I never realized it until I just heard it just now.
much more nasal quality. A lot
Quality.
of the words are much more from here. So you'll find that you need to compress your mouth. In the Manchester accent, this is said as an funny,
Funny.
really, angry. Just try practicing those. Funny, pretty.
Funny.
The next key feature is that normally when you have the I in watching, I was watching the sound come merged, and mostly the sound is gone. Mostly the as in come is gone and is replaced by an even slightly fuller version of For example, come becomes cum, shut becomes shut, lovely
Shut.
becomes lovely,
Lovely.
cut becomes cut, up
Cut.
becomes up.
Is that real? I see no's and yeses. Is that real or no? Oh yeah, whole rabbit hole after the the Mackies. Just wait till I come back with an excellent Manchester accent. You know what I excel at in life? I excel at doing accents poorly, like really badly. Dan is out on tour right now doing lights for Mark Ambor. Ambor? I don't know. But all I keep doing is I FaceTime him like every day, and I keep just doing a bad German accent. I'm like, because Mark Ambor is like funny to say in a German accent. Mark Ambor. Like, but it's like, I can't do it on the spot. I have to be in it. I have to be in the mode. I don't know how to explain it. What was happening the other day where I was just talking the other day about how I could live in Germany so easily. I love Germany. The Yorkshire accent. Let's find it. Yorkshire accent. How well do you understand German? Not well. Reading it actually though isn't so bad.
Hey you, stop faffing about. It's mafting in here.
It's time to take a close
I don't know if I like this person. It's the same girl that was from the first video.
I'm from Turkey.
Oh.
I'll do.
I'll do.
That's it.
I'll
Got it.
do. Okay.
Awesome.
Chop to bits. I am very proud.
Altogether, it sounds like put wood in hole.
So when you want to say close the door, you actually say put wood in hole?
Yep.
Why?
This video is unbelievable.
So now it's time for your challenge. You're going to have a conversation with me using the phrases that you've just learnt in your best Yorkshire accent, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I'll do.
I'm right, Maddie.
Why are you right, Mardy?
Well, I've been addling brass all day selling me Yorkshire puddings.
Selling Yorkshire puddings. So why are you right, Mardy?
Nobody buys them.
Nobody buys them.
I don't know what's happening. Honestly, I don't know how I got here. Have you guys seen the girl on TikTok who does an impression of her German mother? Her impression is so good. Do you know what I'm talking about? No? You don't? Wait, okay, hold on. It's so good. Hold on. Hold, please. Now, granted, she has the advantage. She grew up with a German mother, so.
Oh, Laura, what is happening? You are still in bed. I have been up since 4. You have a cold? A cold? I should call the ambulance or what? Let me alert the World Health Organization. All doctors.
You never seen this?
We have a big case. A cold. I have never had a cold in my whole life.
You haven't seen that person? Okay. You should go watch it on your own time. Laura Ramoso. She also does the Italian dad. I guess she has a German mom and an Italian dad, and she impersonates him too. But she also does impersonations of people when they've gotten back from certain countries. Oh, let me find a good one. I love these videos. They're hilarious. Like, okay, this one's, I think is pretty funny. So if you know, if any Germans here know, but like if you don't know about like, you know what, just watch it.
Here's boring. You are boring. How long was I in Berlin? Berlin. Oh, you mean Berlin. Berlin. I was there for give or take 3 days exactly, and I hated everyone who arrived after me. This sucks. No, but seriously, you have sugar. Hello? Can I get a doner kebab? This is what? A Starbucks. You've been to Munich? Get some lay down to your life, leather. This is actually tight. Oh yeah, I've decided to name my firstborn child Brötchen. Oh my god, I love this song. Honestly, Berlin should be the capital.
Have you not seen these videos?
Oh my god, of course.
She makes these videos about like people who have gotten back from a place and act like they've lived there their entire life, which is me 100%. Every place I've ever gone, I'm like, this is my place. These are my people. Like, I know everything about this place. And it's hilarious. So it's like, there's like, I think she started with like one that was like from France or something, but it's so good. So it's like, it's like, how was my trip to Barcelona? Oh, Barcelona. And like her whole thing is like being really, it's so good. It's so funny. You just have to watch it in your own time. Laura Ramoso. I think she's hilarious. Maybe we don't have the same sense of humor. I'm panicking. Let me find you another one. Let me try and convince you one more time. It has 11 million views, okay? So other people think it's funny too. Hold on. Stand by, please. I'm trying to find one of the ones like that's like very relatable. Well, there's this one.
How you going? So good to see you. Don't hug me. Where's the server? Do I want a coffee? Oh God, no. I'll have a flat white. Wait, do I have an accent? No. Byron, bye. You don't know about long flights until you've flown to Thrive. I was in the air for 36 hours, on the ground for 7, back in the air. I made sure to stay out of all the touristy areas, so we started off at Bondi Beach. Oh, it was cracking. Gold Coast living. This swimsuit is fused.
No, that's the point. She does have, okay, it's Boya. She does have a bad sunburn in this, like, but it's like painted on because like that's kind of like the joke, you know? Just, you know what? Just go watch it in your own time. You'll see. It's funny. It's hilarious. I like it a lot. Thank you. Someone has seen it. She does impressions of like when tourists, typically like an American tourist goes somewhere like Australia, or she has like a French one, a Greece one, etc., etc., and then they come back and they're just like, oh, like, and I was saying like the Barcelona one I just remember because it's like so specific. It's like, how is what? How was Barcelona? No, oh, you mean Barcelona. And it's like when someone comes back from visiting a place and they're all of a sudden insufferable and they're like, ah. You know? You know what I'm talking about? Weird Germans, we have no humor. I think she does a skit on that too, honestly. But she does have a German mom, and so one of her most popular like series that she does is like impersonating her German mom, and some of it is very accurate based on my like interactions with Germans. What was I gonna say? There was something I was gonna... Oh! She hasn't done one on Japan, but... Japan has humor, but, like, sarcasm doesn't translate super well. And I just have a very, very, very hilarious memory of meeting with our Japanese label rep. Like, when we were, like... We were really young. Like, we just started. And our manager at the time, like, made a joke to him. He was like, oh, you think I'm pretty, don't you? You want to take me out on a date? Like, jokingly. Like, oh, I'm pretty, right? You want to take me out on a date? And just our label manager, like, didn't get the sarcasm. Just deadpan, straight face, just goes, no. Like, to our male manager who was, like, making a joke. And I just remember being, like, almost crying laughing because he was so, like, confused and serious, and he was like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, you could just see it in his face. He was like, no. I think it's awesome talking to people that don't do sarcasm, because, like, I'm never serious. Nothing I say is real. So emotional damage. No, it was great for me. I thought it was hilarious. Love it when humor doesn't translate. I can't remember. There is definitely somewhere. It might have been Germany where I tried to make a joke on stage and it, like, didn't land. I don't remember that. When did I start doing backbends? I started doing backbends forever ago. Oh! I have so much trauma now from, like, watching people mimic other people on, like, TikTok or something. And now it's all I think about, where I'm like, am I that person? So there's people that will make videos, like, making fun of, like, X person when they're on live, or X type of person when they're on, like, TikTok live. And there's always the thing where they're, like, reading the chat and they're like, what eyeliner is this? Like, they're usually making fun of, like, bitchy girls or something. And they're like, I don't know. I just, like, got it out of my drawer. And, like, do I like this? But now, every time I, like, read a message in chat out loud and I go, like, when did you start doing your back ends again? It's all I think about is, like, those impressions of those people. And I'm like, oh my God, do I sound like those people? So, but if you don't read it out loud, then not everyone knows what you're referring to and talking to. So I'm like, I need to care less. But I can't. I care too much. My Harry Potter impression in Manchester. What did I do? Oh no. Moral of the story is I need to care less, but Gen Z's constant behavior, policing of each other, and cringe culture is the death of happiness and comfort. You know what? You're not wrong. Millennials do it too, though, I feel like. But, like, I am a cringy person. I'm born a cringy person. I did see them remaking Harry Potter. I don't know why. Like, why do we need a remake? I don't understand why we need to keep remaking stuff. Why can't we have new stuff? I want more stuff, not the same stuff done over again. Also, it hasn't been that long. Like, it's one thing when something's, like, 30 years old, but if it's... Okay, it's, like, 23 years old, I guess, the first movie, but still! Running out of ideas and want money. There's so many good books, though, that could be made into, like, movies or TV series. I started a new book series. It's not a new series. It's new to me. Has anyone ever read the Realm of the Elderling series? Realm of the Elderling series? Elderlings? It's like, it's kind of, yeah, Realm of the Elderlings. It's kind of weird because it's divided up into it's 16 or 15 books. It's 4 trilogies and a 4, what do you call a 4-part series? Aren't remakes about extending copyrights? I didn't know that. Maybe. I don't know. Quartet? quadrilogy. I made that exact joke. I no joke made that exact joke. So I'm glad that we think alike. He wanted to do live action. Sandy said he would consider an Arcane style test run with Mistborn. That could be cool. I love Edinburgh. I've been to the Harry Potter shop. I love it. Farseer trilogy, so blessing. That's what I'm reading right now. So I'm only on the second book, so I've got a long way to go. Let's remake the Star Wars sequels so they're actually good this time. Yeah, I kind of turned out of those. You lost me as soon as you were like, Han and Leia got divorced. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, I've never read the Vampire... I didn't even know it was based on a book, but I love the TV series Vampire Diaries, so... How far am I into the books? I'm only on the second book. I will say, it's good. It's not like... I'm not like, oh my god, I can't put this down. But from what I've read of people who talked about the series and how much they love the series, I really think you kind of have to read the whole thing. Like it's like a, you know, it's, I don't know, but I might be wrong. Some people think like the Live Ship Traders trilogy is their favorite. Some people say the third trilogy is their favorite. So I don't know. It's a lot to take on. I don't usually do a lot of audiobooks unless I'm driving a lot. Like if I've been driving a lot, then I'll start audiobooking. I was listening to Eye of the World on audiobook a lot because when I was reading that, because I was, at the time when I was reading it, I was like on planes. So I didn't always want to have to like use the reading light. You know how sometimes on like if you're on a long haul flight and they've turned off all the lights after like food and everything and all the lights are off, like the reading light feels really bright in like an all dark plane even. So my favorite book genre is definitely just fantasy. I have read Iron Flame and Fourth Wing. I never actually finished or started even Onyx Storm, just because I was like, oh, I need to go back and reread the other two because I kind of forget, and then I forgot to do that. So, and then it was hard for me. So I was like, oh, when I get my surgery, I'm gonna have so much downtime and read a lot. But then after surgery, I, like, for the first week, I was just a zombie. I couldn't function because I was on so much medication to help with the pain. And I really don't like being on pain medication. I do not feel good on it. Like, I don't say this in, like, a judgmental way. I say this in a genuine, this is just how I feel. I have no idea how some people enjoy it or get like addicted to it because they like it. I could see you getting addicted to it because if you were on it for a prolonged period of time because of like a chronic pain or something like that. But like I've heard of people who are like, oh, like I love taking an oxy or something, and I'm like, how? It makes me feel so bad. Everything about it makes me feel bad other than the fact that it mutes the pain. But everything else, I was like, this is terrible. I felt so out of my head and out of control of like, I felt like for like 5 days straight, I was just in a complete fog. I didn't know anything. Made me want to stare at a wall. That's how I felt. I couldn't do anything. I was like, oh, I'll read. I couldn't read. I was like, I'll watch a new TV show. I couldn't really watch anything because I couldn't focus on the plot or anything. And then I was watching that show Rome, and tried to put it on TV one night, and it was the episode where they this isn't really a spoiler because it's historical, but like, you know, it was an episode covering the murder of Julius Caesar, and I was like so distraught over it because it was kind of brutal, and like obviously he was like betrayed by his friends and, you know, that kind of thing. And I just remember being like, I couldn't emotionally process it. Yeah, this is the longest I've ever had to take a painkiller because I was in so much pain. I was in such bad pain. But as soon as I could like deal with not being on them, I was off them because I felt so crappy. I'm not there yet in history. Wildfire, thank you so much for the sub and the gifted sub. I have not seen the new Snow White movie. I know there's a lot of drama surrounding it. I don't care that much for remakes unless there's like a good reason for the remake, I guess, you know? And I don't tend to gravitate towards remakes that are like, that just change too much the original story, unless there's like a good reason to. Yeah, so I didn't really feel any motivation to go watch it. And then I saw the CGI dwarves, and I was like, they don't look good. Like, I get there's a whole drama over whether or not they should have been CGI, where it's like, I think Peter Dinklage said, like, is that his name? That's his name, right? Terry? Yeah, Peter Dinklage was like, use the CGI, but then other people in that community are like, no, those are our jobs. So even regardless of that, of whether or not it should be actual people or CGI, the CGI looked so bad. Like, why did it look so bad? Song's banger. That one song. Rachel Zegler's like a killer singer, so the song sounds good. It doesn't sound like Snow Whitey, but it sounds like good, you know? You know what I liked? See, okay, so here's an example. Tell me if you disagree. Here's an example of a remake that I think, of a live action remake that I think made sense to make and I think was good. I liked Maleficent. I think they casted it well. I think they all made sense. But I also liked that it wasn't just like a remake of Sleeping Beauty. It was from a different character's perspective. So it put Maleficent as the main character. So it wasn't just we're going to remake it and rewrite the story for the sake of doing it. It was like we're going to give a different perspective of the same-ish story, give or take. But I think they also stayed true to the soul of the original characters in a way. Like, Aurora still felt like Aurora. Didn't feel like they made Aurora a new character. Like, her strength was in her beauty and her grace and her gentleness and her femininity. And that was like, it was a strength. It wasn't a drawback. So I think that was a really good... She was able to love Maleficent in a way that other people didn't and couldn't, you know. So I thought that was really good. When are we getting a film from Sauron's perspective and how these people stole his jewelry? That would be hilarious. What happened to my neck? I had disc replacement surgery because I had a herniated disc in my neck that was majorly herniated and was pressing on my spine and put me at a risk of paralysis. Not what I wrote paralyzed for. Also, I'm a simple woman. If I'm gonna watch a princess movie, I want a fucking prince. That's just me. I just want a prince. And hey, if you want to make a movie about a strong, badass female main character who doesn't need a man, but also sometimes uses their help but doesn't need them, Aelin Galathynius. Throne of Glass, baby. Trad princess. But that's what Sleeping Beauty was in a way, right? So it's like, if you break Sleeping Beauty out swinging a sword, I'm gonna be like, the fuck is happening? Just make a new princess. Let's get more princesses. Why can't we have more? Why do we need to rewrite princesses. Why can't we have more princesses? I want more princesses. Eowyn was fucking badass. Didn't get the hint. Can't fault my girl, though. I cannot fault her. Like, I would do the same. But badass. I mean, there's gotta be more, like, fairy tales and folklores. Like, why hasn't Disney done, a fairy tale or, like, a movie based on the pirate queen? You know the Chinese pirate queen? What's her? I don't know her name. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Zhang Yi Sao? Nixara, yes. Well, so Nixara is not the pirate queen. The pirate queen in Starfall is like very, very, very loosely, but like very loosely, but just loosely inspired by Zhang Yi Sao, which is like, because she's, this headline, a Chinese woman led the largest and most successful pirate fleet in history. So, sounds like a good Disney story to me. I don't know. Oh, Moana fucking rips. I love Moana. The soundtrack, unbelievable. But that's what I mean. Like, think about, I know Tangled isn't new anymore, but like it was new compared to what I grew up with. But like, I think about Tangled and Frozen and Tiana and Moana, and I'm like, these are all bangers. And these are not ones that I grew up with. Like when I was little, you know? I know like now they're, I don't know how, like, when did Tangled come out? What year was it? 2010. Okay, yeah. So I'm thinking like, you know, I grew up in like the 90s and like early 2000s. So like all these movies are new to me, like new generation, you know, not when I was little, you know, I was 15 already when Tangled came out. So I'm like, these are bangers. Why aren't we making new ones? Yeah, we grew up with the story because I know we grew up with Rapunzel, but a lot of these movies are based on like a folktale of some sort. But also, like, I think that's one of the most fun things. If you go to Disney, if you go to Epcot and you go like around the world and you get to go to all of the different places and like eat around the world, etc. That is the coolest thing. So why aren't we making new princesses, new movies from new places? Why are we remaking the same ones? Oh, Merida is sick. I love Merida. But you know what I mean? Like, we haven't covered the whole world yet, people. There's so many places we could go to. Because laziness. But I feel like maybe I'm wrong. Like, I don't look at the numbers. I'm not like, I can't tell you what a good blockbuster is. I don't like stay like up to date. Like, I can't, they're like, oh, it did this much money first, you know, opening weekend. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's good or bad. I just feel like the newer ones, like Moana, Tangled, Brave, Tiana, Princess of the Frog, like all of those movies were newer. They weren't the ones that I grew up when I was little. They're like of this next generation. And they all do so much better and have a bigger lasting impact than the remakes. In my opinion. I don't actually know if that's a fact. I have not researched this. They haven't even cast Chrissy as a Jersey princess yet. Yeah, exactly. Do they have an Italian one? Mulan was one of my favorites growing up. I fucking loved Mulan. As a girl who always wanted to do boy stuff and who always wanted to be like, I can do anything the boys can do. I can do anything my dad can do. I watched Mulan go to war and I was like, yeah, girl! Like, that would be me. I want to go to war! What a lightsaber! War! That was me. Pocahontas? Yes, I grew up with Pocahontas. So I was like referencing the ones that I didn't grow up with. Great humor in Mulan. There's a really, like a really funny picture. I gotta see if I can find it of me meeting Li Shang in Disney when I was like 4 years old, and I had such a big crush on him, and like I'm just like sitting there like. I gotta see if I can find him. Let me see if I can find this picture. Doo-doo. Oh, there it is. Let me see if I can get it, like... This is my freaking boy. Look at my... Like, hold on. Come on. Come on! Do the thing. You're just looking up my mans. You can't even really tell. But I'm just like... The Sardinian princess. Thank you. We even got Genovia on there. Genovia ain't even a real place. We got Genovia. We can't get Sardinia? Or Sicily? Or Italy? Let's see, we got France. Do we have a British princess? I'm forgetting something obvious, aren't I? Is there just like a classic British English? Am I stupid? Cinderella? Is Cinderella British? We're Scottish. Bunch of French, yeah. Did you ever see, oh, there's a girl who was making, she was composing a soundtrack for a Korean princess. Ariel is Danish. I did not know that. We need a German princess who drinks beer all day. Is Aurora German? Or no? Yeah. Oh yeah, Snow White too. Oh, last thing I'll say about Snow White. You cannot tell me that they did not do her dirty on the hair. What? Like, what happened to it? Why does it look like Lord Farquaad? And then people are like, oh no, it's inspired by Audrey Hepburn. And I was like, no, it looks like maybe like the Walmart version of that Audrey Hepburn. Like, why would they do that to her? That just feels like they did her dirty on purpose. Because she's a pretty person, and it's like, that was a weird call. I'm not even hating necessarily on the hairstylist, because movies don't work like that. It's not like one person's decision. Like, the director had to approve it. Other people had to approve it. Like, there's lots of people involved in this. So, like, multiple people got together and was like, T, that ate. Like, what? That doesn't make, like, it makes no sense. Why would you do that? Where's the headband? I haven't seen it, but I just saw the images. I'm like, where is her headband? The headband's iconic. Where's the bow? Why no bow? Like, why did they do that to her? Because I think that's why it looks kind of flat on top, is because there's no bow, you know? No one noticed. She's attractive, but no one notices because the first knows that first since she's made a name for herself regarding her controversies. Hot take. I'm a small musician in a big pond, but I've met big musicians, big actors, big actresses, big people in entertainment, 98% of them, to no fault, well, to some fault, but to fault and no fault of their own, are so out of touch with reality because you don't even realize how weird their lives are. We need to stop, like, listening to these people as if they know, like, they're very good at what they do, which is acting, playing a role. We don't need their opinion necessarily. Like, they're not, like, they it's like the fucking meme of Katy Perry going to space. She's like, I'm really excited to learn about the math of it. Like, it's just, it's not their job, you know? Like, and I'm not saying that in a way to hate on them either. I'm just saying, like, we put people on a pedestal. We should put them on a pedestal for their acting, which they're very good at, or their singing, or whatever it is. But it's like, we don't necessarily need to put them on a pedestal for other things, because even if they're educating themselves a lot, even if they're very well educated, they're just living such a different life and such a different experience. It is a weird experience. I remember being, like, I've only ever gotten so big. So I haven't had, like, a crazy, you know, I haven't had a full life of this, but I've had doses of it. But for example, I remember going to the Philippines and going to do a meet and greet in the mall, and it was crazy. It felt like Beatlemania. There was, like, you know, thousands and thousands of people. We got swarmed and mobbed and were, like, getting escorted out by security guards that were surrounding us. And I remember being like, there are celebrities who this is their life every day. Every time they go out to dinner, like, you know, like the Taylor Swifts, those big, like, big celebrities. Everywhere they go, there are people yelling and screaming their name and surrounding them, waiting outside their house, this, that, whatever. That's gotta distort and fuck up your perception of reality so much. Like, so much. No matter how much you try to stay connected and down to earth and educated and whatever, it's just, you just can't. You haven't walked, maybe you did at one point walk in other people's shoes, but now you don't, you know? So it's like, we gotta stop, like, setting the bar so high for, like, this person is going to, like, eloquently explain to me, like, the experience of this blah blah blah. It's like, let them act, and, like, let's leave it at that, you know? I love the expression, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life thinking it's stupid. But also same for you. Like, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, you're going to be disappointed every time. So whichever way, we got to start recognizing, you know, recognizing what we should be expecting of people. So when people are like, oh, like, you know, people are mad because this person said these things about this, like, topic. And I'm like, why are we giving it that much weight? Like, just stop. Mid-fish. Let her cook. I'm cooking. Also, sidebar, I also realized in that moment, loved the Philippines, loved my time there, loved my experience there, but I realized I would never want to be that level of fame where that was my life all the time. Even some of the time. I was like, this is too much. Like, this is really way too much. I was like, I am so accidentally in the career that I'm in. Like, I love music. I love, like, talking. Like, I yap a lot, obviously. I talk nonstop. But I'm not, like, extroverted with strangers, necessarily. So I remember just, like, being in that moment, being like, professional yapper. That is my professional job. Perfect for streaming, yeah. Well, I think the streaming's really nice. But I wouldn't even want to be, like, one of those, like, one of the biggest, you know how the bigger streamers, you watch their chat and their chat's like, it's, you can't read it. Like, I like knowing everybody that's here. I'm like being like, hey, what's up? When I see a name I don't recognize, I'm like, oh, I don't recognize that name, you know? But I recognize a lot of names, and it's nice. It's familiar. It's comforting. I like coming here, like, after not being streaming for months, and all of a sudden it's, like, all my old friends, you know? Same with shows, too. I've been lucky to, like, support some shows, like, do some supports on, like, big arenas and things like that, and it's obviously really fun to play in arenas and be like, whoa, this is crazy, but when I've thought about it, because we get, this is, like, one of the most common interview questions is, like, what's better, like, big shows or small club shows? And I'm like, honestly, I do think, like, the small clubs to, like, smaller theaters are the better feeling shows to me. Once you start getting too big, like too many people, you can't see everyone, and to me that's always weird. But yeah, I don't even know how I got on this tangent. I'm just yapping. No cap, love the intimacy of a small club show. Yeah, honestly, me too. Also, 10 times out of 10, I'm going to choose a small club show that's sold out over like a bigger venue show that's like even 80% sold out but not fully sold out, because those small shows that are sold out always have like that feral fucking energy and it's so good. I remember getting like so hyped up for some of our bigger shows, and this didn't happen every time actually. Sometimes it was actually so good. Like when we played O2 Forum in London the second time, and it was full, it was awesome and the energy there was crazy. But I also remember sometimes going into like the bigger shows and like there's so much more pressure and hype around them, and then the energy isn't as good as some of like the smaller shows. So yeah, Kuji, I feel the same way. It's like playing Palladium was crazy. It was crazy seeing that many people on the floor, but there was something about that Carlsberg Victoria show that we sold out that was just like monstrous. Remember me? I'm the girl screaming lyrics for Lolo. Was that in Dublin? I think Dublin? But I will say, as a short person and a slightly spoiled person, very spoiled, I guess, in like terms of like music and concerts. I do like going to arena shows better just because I like being able to get a seat on like the incline where I can like guarantee see and watch the show. Because when I'm in a pit, I've never seen a show. Anytime I've been in the pit, in the crowd, never seen anything that happened on stage, no matter what. And I have to pee all the time. I can't hold it. So I can't get there early and be there for 8 hours. It's like, it's not gonna happen. Definitely way more about the connection. I will say I do get a little like anxious seeing big crowds for like the people in them, like for you guys. Like I get very, very nervous when I see like Palladium. I remember fans telling us when we had put that show on sale, they were like, oh, by the way, like people don't really like going to the show because going to this venue as much because the floor is so big. It's like 3,000 on the floor and it's not sectioned. So it's like if you're in the middle and like you're having an emergency or something, or you need to get out, go to the bathroom, whatever, it's like you're really in there, and that always worries me. I try and watch the crowd so much during shows to make sure like nothing's going wrong, where it's like if I could put like a spotlight on it, you know. Are there any countries you would like to play a show but where you have not done it yet? Yes, India is one of them. We were talking about India earlier, because I've never even been. We've tried to play festival in India twice, and both times it kind of like fell through for different reasons. So yeah, I would love to go to India. Where else would I like to go? I mean, so many places. There is a couple like Northern European countries that we haven't gotten to. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of places I would love to travel to as well that I'm not sure if I've been to Malaysia, I've been to Hungary, I've been to Australia, I've been to Edinburgh. Just trying to name places like somewhere that I haven't been. I've never been to Uruguay. Sweden we played one show at, but it was really tiny, so we haven't gone back yet because we were like, don't know if we can like sell tickets there. We have been to Russia. We actually went in 2019, like right before the pandemic, and then I feel like that was like the last time people were able to go to Russia. And we had an amazing time. Our Moscow was stunning. It was so beautiful. No, I never imagined traveling so much because my family didn't travel with us like when we were younger. And I know like some people are like that's normal, some people it's not. Like I had friends who frequently like their family would go overseas. So the first time I went overseas, well, the first official time I went overseas was actually with my high school, in my senior year. You could like sign up to go on a trip. So I did that. But then after that, my first like real other times going overseas was all just touring. Like everywhere I've gone overseas for the first time has been for touring. Or for like an event. Like I went to Turkey for Valorant, but we haven't played a show there. Phone is ringing? Oh, it is my phone ringing. You guys heard it, but I didn't hear it. I get so many spam calls and cold calls. I couldn't hear it, but I guess because it was on the desk next to the mic, it was picking it up. I love Czech Republic. Oh my gosh. There's a very funny story, a very endearing story of a fan in the Czech Republic. He's very sweet. So there was on the tour with Loglo. And then we also had Izzy, our photographer, in our camp. And apparently there was this kid who saw Izzy earlier that day and was like, Chrissy! And she was like, no, I'm not Chrissy. Like, I'm Izzy. We look totally different, by the way, at this point, too. She was, like, blonde. We look nothing alike. And he was like, okay. And apparently then he did it to Lolo, too. He was like, Chrissy! And Lolo's like, nope, not Chrissy. Sees Izzy again later, and he goes, Chrissy! And she's like, nope, still not. Yeah, but he said it in such a cute way. He was like, Chrissy, is that you? And like I don't like I end up making him sound like Mario or Luigi. Like I don't know his exact accent. I can't do it. But it was like very cute and endearing. And then finally at the end of the night, I came out to the show. I came out after the show to like walk to the bus, and he sees me and he goes, Chrissy, is that? And I've heard about him now because he's been asking like every girl, like, Chrissy, is that you? And so he finds me, he's like, Chrissy, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, Chrissy, it is you. And it was so cute and so wholesome. And he had like an old school point and shoot camera, and he was like, let's take a picture, and like turns it around and like bam, and I'm like, there's no way that photo turned out at all. But it was like, it was one of the most endearing like things. And then the rest of the tour, it would always be like, if I walked into a room, everyone would be like, Chrissy, it is you. It was so cute. Oh, I think about it all the time. I don't know if he spoke a ton of English, because I think I tried to ask him like his name or something, and like he just took his photo and then scampered away, and I was like, oh, okay. It was so cute though. I love like wholesome fan moments like that. Like that's the best thing ever. The best part was that he just had no idea what I looked like, apparently, because he just asked every single girl that he saw that day. He's like, Chrissy! And like they're like, not me. The first show I ever played with Against the Current, or like in general? The first show I ever played would have been with like the music school that I was at, but with Against the Current, the first show we ever played was a battle of the bands called Pop vs. Not at the Loft in Poughkeepsie, which was like upstairs from the Chance. The Chance was like the real venue. The Loft was like the shitty bar stage upstairs. And yeah, I think I had like a zebra duct taped mic stand, and I thought it was really cool. And we won. It was a battle of the bands. We won the pop thing. It was honestly probably rigged though, because like Dan and Will knew everyone, because Will's older brother was in a band and like kind of knew everyone. I don't remember. We also might have just been better. I don't have any memory like of what other people were like. But there's no way we were very good back then. Like I know I wasn't very good. Very mindful, very slay, very Jameer. Thank you. Was the first we've made it show? I like there might have been one or two before this, but I think the first one that was like, oh, this is something real was just the first time we had a sold out show in New York City, because that's where we're all from, like the New York area more or less. And we played Webster Hall Studio, so the 500 cap, and we sold it out, and a bunch of labels came out that night. It was before we were like signed or anything, and I remember being like, oh yeah, this is legit, like we just sold this out, it's 500 people, like the labels are here talking to us, like blah blah blah. It was like a whole thing, you know. We bought the refs. Honestly, yeah, like, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember, but... Any bands you haven't met that you'd like to? Probably a lot, but I'm so much in, like, a... Listen, I've always thought, like, his music was cool, but I never was like, oh, I need to, like, meet... I never feel like I need to meet someone, but now I watched Youngblood horseback riding. I didn't know he rides horses. I saw, like, a brief clip of it, and now I'm just like, oh, I want to be friends with him. Like, that's sick. I just see my horse people, you know? Do you consider yourself successful? Such a good question. So hard to answer because yes and no, I guess. Like, no in the sense that, like, I think like, there's so much more success that can be achieved in music. Like, I'm so small considering, you know, the world of musicians and the size of musicians. I'm, like, very, very small in comparison. I can't, like, retire off my music career or something, you know? But I've also, you know, I've gotten to travel and play shows in, like, 40 countries. And I've been doing this for almost 15 years with my band and stuff. So it's, like, I've had the time of my life and memories. And I get to hang out, you know, with you guys deal with me yapping online and my antics and stuff, and so it's like, yeah, very, like, extremely successful. I could see how someone would look at it and be like, no, you're not, like, you haven't done anything yet. But in my head, I'm like, I've achieved way more than I could have ever imagined wanting. So yes and no, but yes for me. Youngblood's new music is wild. I have not listened to any of it, so I just saw the Horsey video, and I was like, woo, go Horsey. I don't really know any Youngblood songs, to be fair, other than, like, I'm trying to think of what, like, the big one would be. How much % derpy would you say your personality is? Probably very derpy, I think. Yeah, I would have heard that one. I would love to come back to Slam Dunk. I loved Slam Dunk. I had so much fun. I would love to collab with Bring Me the Horizon. I think they're, like, the coolest band. I think Tate McRae is so popular. Like, no, sorry, you said popular. So talented is the word I was looking for. She is an insane dancer, and I think her songwriting is really good, and I really like her voice. I get why she, like, shot up to success so fast. She had that song, what was the song, like, that blew up in COVID, and she, like, just filmed the music video, like, just walking around with her iPhone and, like, a shopping cart. And I thought that was really cool because it was so simple. It was very raw. But her dancing is crazy cool. Yeah, You Broke Me First. That was the one. Yeah. I would love to do more in EDM. I love Bad Omens. I would love to collaborate with Bad Omens. I'm a huge fan of Bad Omens. What? There was something I saw. As a musician, do you have musicians you look up to? Yeah, tons. I mean, and tons for, like, different things too. Like, you know, you might look up to one person for one specific thing or another. So too long didn't read. Wait, what's TLDW? The TLDR on my surgery is that I had a herniated disc that was pressing on my spinal cord, so I had a disc replacement. Just call me Chris. Thank you so much. Lucas, thank you so much. Splay, thank you so much. Wasak, Cyber Wrecker, thank you so much. Bear, thank you for the bits. Nomi, thank you so much. MW, thank you so much. RH, thank you so much. Katarina, thank you. Mystic, thank you for the bits. Woo! Lucas, thank you so much. Yeah, I love Bad Omens. I think they're so sick. Retrofear, thank you so much. Would I rather switch places for a day with a huge celeb or one of us, fame-wise? Honestly, I would love to switch places with one of you guys one day because I kind of talked about this earlier if you were there. Like, I don't like the very popular celeb lifestyle from the very, very tiny tastes of it that I have had and from friends that I've had. Seems very scary and overwhelming and weird too, like, in a lot of ways, so maybe not for me. But I think about this all the time sometimes when I, like, especially right after I've seen you guys in person, after, like, seeing your names online so much, and then, like, I'll meet you at something, and you're like, oh, I'm so-and-so or whatever, and then sometimes I'm just like, I wonder what your day looks like, because I can't picture it, because I don't know, you know? Shisha, thank you for the gifted sub. Nefflinger, thank you for the prime. Jared, you got a deal. My thoughts on Katy Perry going to space. First of all, on the way back, I don't think she's being dramatic. I think people are probably going too hard on that. I don't think that a normal person, like the average person who has nothing to do with space in their life or anything, can probably understand the mindfuck of, like, going outside of our atmosphere. Even if it's for 5 minutes. It's probably so fucking crazy to be just like, I'm out of the earth, you know? So it's like, even if it's brief, it's probably, like, such a mindfuck. So I don't totally... And also, like, I'd be panicking. Like, you know, so credit to her for going, because especially after that, those astronauts just got stuck up there, that they were supposed to be there for 5 days and were there for like 9 months. I would be like, my anxiety could never. So I don't think she's being necessarily super dramatic, like when she got back and like kissed the earth and stuff. But I do think the pre-launch interviews are hilarious, where she's like, I'm just so excited for, like, you know, the math. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're not gonna do any math, and they're not gonna, like, run the equation by it and be like, hey, here it is. Like, obviously, there's some crazy fucking math that goes into this, but, like, that's not gonna really be part of your experience, you know? So... But, like, I feel like if you experience zero gravity and you're outside of, like, our atmosphere for a second, I feel like even if it's for, like, a minute, it's probably such a trip that you're freaked out. Our oceans are just as vast and undiscovered as space. Don't even get me started on the oceans. The oceans freak me the fuck out, honestly. I'm gonna be so real. I'm gonna be so... straight up honest. I am terrified of the ocean because, yeah, there's so much. Look, why are we going to outer space? There is so much here that we don't even know is here. We don't need aliens. Deep oceans are so scary. I can't. I've like you ever go down like the deep ocean internet rabbit hole and you just see like a couple of like the little creatures that, you know, we know about, but like most of it we can't even begin to know. Like, the fuckers that are surviving, not even just surviving, thriving at those deep, dark depths. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. See, like, I'm realizing, like, there's a healthy dose of curiosity that people should have. But we also need a healthy dose of contentment, where it's like, sometimes we don't need to know, you know? It's for another day, another generation. And I don't want to know. I don't want us to go digging up the ocean. I'm good. Good, fam. You hear like once a year they discover a new creature. Yeah, and that's probably barely skimming the surface, too. aliens are confirmed to be real by our government, and everyone responded with, we don't care, we got bills paid. Okay. I took an astronomy class in college as an elective once. And the thing that always stuck with me, I think the reason that I will never be surprised when they're like, yeah, aliens, blah, 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 is because there was, and I really, 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 really wish I saved this, like, information so I had the actual information, because it blew my fucking mind at the time. It might be common knowledge for other people, but I don't know, I'm stupid, so it blew my mind at the time. But it was some formula or something that calculated the optimistic chance of there being life on other planets like ours and the pessimistic chance. And it took into, like, it was a ton of probabilities and things like that. And is the Drake equation? But that it was even in the pessimistic, it was still like, it wasn't, there was never a scenario that there was zero life like ours out there. It's just, where is it and how far and what is it like, I guess. It might be the Drake equation. This was like 8 years ago, maybe longer. Actually might have been like 10 years ago. Okay, apparently the Drake equation. But I remember being like, oh, so they are just definite, something is definitely out there, you know? So I don't think I'm like, so when they're like, oh, the aliens, they're real, I'm like, well, yeah, duh. Like, obviously there's something, but like, what else? Like, what are they like, you know? I'm not panicking about tomorrow's problems. Since you're scared of the ocean, do you actually think things like krakens and sirens actually exist? I think, like, they might not be exactly what we tell in folklore, but I think everything in our folklore comes from something that we didn't understand or experience. Like, so I think if there's probably like a giant fucking sea creature that's, you know, that then old sailors deemed the kraken. There's giant squids and shit, so why wouldn't there be? Oh, but you know, creepy little fish. What about the little angler fish? My Shayla. What if the real aliens are the ones we made along the way? Yes. I love that. Bars. The deep ocean is not for people. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is like, we shouldn't be sticking our noses in there. It's not meant for us. If it was meant for us, we would have gills. Not meant for us. So I'm good. Same thing for space then? Yeah, honestly, maybe. I'm all for, like, future stuff and, like, you know, do your thing, people, but, like... No, I think about it every time I get on a plane. I'm like, if we were meant to fly, we would have wings. Every time one of these plane crashes happens, it takes so much in me to, like, my fear of flying has only gone up as, you know, the older I get. The more I think about it, I'm like, every time I get on a plane. I know it's rarer than a car accident. I know, but still freaks me out. Still way safer on a plane than a car. No, listen, I'm a hypocrite. You know what's also safer? Or what's more dangerous than getting on a plane? Also more dangerous than getting in a car? Getting on a fucking horse. And I do it. Like, the injury rate for people who, equestrians, I don't really consider, I'm not an equestrian, really, but is like 80 or 90%. It's like 80 something % of equestrians have a serious injury at some point. But I'm like shaking in my boots getting on the plane. I don't know. Caving is the worst. Like cave diving, like people that go like, or not even cave dive, but people go into like underwater caves and other caves and stuff. That freaks me out. I'm like, don't you do that. Helicopters freak me out too. I'm like, I don't want to be in a helicopter. I want no business in a helicopter. My cousin broke her leg from falling off a spook horse once. Yeah, it can happen. I've never fallen off Leo. I fell off Duke. I've never fallen off Leo. And when Leo spooks, he doesn't tend to buck or rear. So I've been very lucky with that. I'm lucky I got a very good, safe, sound horse for the most part. Obviously, it's never foolproof, but yeah. Horses are expensive. You have to like really find the right place to go and stuff, because I realize like a lot of places also like kind of rip you off and stuff. So the new place I moved Leo to is more expensive than where he was before. But it's so worth it for his well-being. But it is expensive. It's not cheap. I've been kicked by my horse. Dude, me too. Leo kicked me by accident in the shin and in the thigh. I don't know if I ever told you guys that. I still have a bruise on my shin from it. It's been like 3 months. It like hasn't gone away. You've gotten famous enough to afford a horse. That means you've made it. Well, or I'm really irresponsible with money. It could mean that too. Well, okay, that is the thing. Poor little unicorn. Horses can be dirt cheap. You can get a horse for like nothing. Doesn't like, and I don't say like it won't be a good horse, but it could just be like, you know, people are constantly getting rid of horses and, you know, rescuing horses, etc. I think it's the upkeep. If you don't have land already, if you already have, like, if you have a little bit of land and you keep your horse yourself, you can actually get the cost down pretty low. I've seen people like keep their horses pretty affordably. But like for me, living in LA, I can't have my horse at my own house. So it's more expensive for me because it's more expensive for me because not only do I have my horse's boarding care, but I also have training, and that's what makes it expensive. My horse is in training, and then I'm in lessons. So if you don't need training on your horse, if you don't need lessons yourself, and if you can board your horse yourself, you can bring that cost like way down. What's my relationship with money, spender or saver? I'd say like somewhere in the middle. I'm lucky that I don't like. I've only bought a couple of like expensive luxury things over the years. Like there was like a phase where everyone that was like in a similar size musician-ish to me was like, you know, everyone was like making money for the first time. And people were like starting to buy like designer clothes and things. And I think I bought like a designer pair of shoes or something. That I wore into the freaking ground. I wore these boots nonstop. And I bought them overseas, so I bought them like duty free and stuff like that too. They were a bit cheaper than they would have been, but I spent a good amount of money on those shoes. And a couple other things. And I just remember being like, I think people are realizing this right now with the tariffs, when they're realizing you can buy like bags straight from the Chinese factories and stuff, which has always been a thing. People are like, oh, they're exposing the luxury brands. I'm like, no, like, always been, you could always look it up that like all of these luxury brands are like 98% markup. But I just realized like that it never fulfilled me to buy like an expensive piece of like clothing or an expensive accessory or something like that unless that thing was like unique in a way that I couldn't find something else similar. But if it was just like for the sake of having a luxury item or like a designer item, it just did not spark joy. The hard part is buying actual quality things. That's what I'm like trying to do right now, is I'm trying to find like what are the brands or clothing stores or places where you can buy like, I'm okay with paying like a slight premium to buy a higher quality thing, so I'm not rebuying stuff all the time. Because I realized like, especially for me with touring, I'm like, I'm gonna buy like cheap clothes from like, I didn't really shop from like Shein, but like that kind of thing, if you know what I mean, where I'm like, oh, it'll get beat to shit, like, etc. And it's okay, and I'm gonna like change it up all the time and change my style. First of all, I've never changed my style. I wear the same fucking black crop tops and like black shorts, skirts, cargo-y pant type things, and combat boots. Like I've had the same style forever. And I realized it's like I was buying cheap things, but then I would be rebuying them frequently too because they wouldn't last. And then I would end up spending more than if I had just bought like a higher quality, well-made item to begin with. And when I say higher quality, I don't necessarily mean like luxury though. That's the hard part, is finding the middle ground, like how to find the brands that are, if they're slightly more expensive, they are so because the quality of the item is better and it costs a little bit more to make, versus like, you know, just buying something that's like, it's the same thing that you get in another store. Have you ever, okay, for example, this might be a US based thing, but there's the department store Nordstrom. If you go to nordstromrack.com and look at like clearance, you'll see the markdowns on some of this stuff, like that are on sale for like 80% off. If something's on sale for 80% off, you got to think that was all just margin to begin with. Like, so you could have theoretically, like, I've seen stuff that was like a $200 ring was on sale for like $15. And I was like, I would be so pissed if I bought this ring for $200 and it's on sale for like $15. So that means it's not worth that much. It's probably worth $10 or $5, you know? Trouble is, you don't know if you're paying the markup for something you think will last. Yeah, I know. That's what's hard, is I'm not good at, I don't have the knowledge or the skill set to like look at something and know like, oh, this is quality because it's made of this, or this is where it's manufactured, or this or that or whatever, you know? Working in Adidas corporate, the really high sales might be a negative margin because overhead in the US is crazy inflated. No, that's good to know. Completely disconnected from true value. Well, to some extent. But like, for example, people were like, on TikTok, there was like a guy who has a store in China, a Chinese man, and it was showing that he comes from the factory. He's part of the factory that manufactures, maybe they don't manufacture Birkins, but they know how to, or something. But he was like, he broke down like, and I have not done my research on this. I don't know. He could just be saying all this and it could not be true. But he was like, this is the leather they use. This is how much it costs per bag for this much leather. This is the glue they use. This is like the whole thing. We do the same thing and make the same thing and it costs you this much amount of money. So he's like, what does the actual Birkin cost Birkin to make? And it's like, this bag cost them $1,500 of materials and labor to make. They're selling it to you for $50,000. And people in the comments were like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And I was like, what do you mean you can't believe this? I was like, this is not a secret. Like, you thought like these Birkin bags, you thought they were actually worth $50,000? But it still pisses me off. I'm like, it's so sad. Rent and labor is the price part. Yeah, but like, so if the bag is like cost $1,500 to make, if you sold it for $2,000, it'd be like, okay, cool. Like, there's your margin, whatever. But like, selling it for $50,000, like, oh my God. That's crazy. And then it's sad because then you see people who have like their small businesses and their things are more expensive because they're making them by hand and it takes them time. Like, I follow like a bunch on Etsy of like pottery, like, you know, small businesses, etc. And people get so mad at them. They're like, what do you mean it's like $30 for a coffee mug? And I'm like, well, you know, you can watch their video. They're hand making all this. They don't have a factory, you know, so it costs time and resources and everything. I'm not into watches. I'm not really like into anything fashion accessory wise. Like, I have some of my accessories that I love, but like I don't have that many. Like, I rewear the same ones. I bought this necklace for myself a year ago. This is one of the only necklaces I wear. Most of my jewelry ends up being like gifts or something. And not even like, I don't do like even like very, very fancy jewelry too. Like, I have like my lion ring, which I just bought, like, I think I bought this in Edinburgh in like just a tiny jewelry store. It was like $10, you know? And like most of my jewelry is like that. The hair rings I buy are so cheap. Yeah, it's from Little Rooms. Yeah. I'm learning blacksmithing and making lots and lots of hooks and jewelries and have to sell them really cheap. Otherwise, they won't even sell. Yeah, like, it's such a bummer. I went to the coolest, when I was in Germany, I went to the coolest Christmas market. And, oh, shoot. What city was it in? I don't remember which one it was. But there was a leather worker. What do you call a leather worker? Leathersmith? Is that what it's called? Who made belts, and he makes them all by hand. He doesn't have an online store. He doesn't have a physical storefront. He just goes to like artisan markets and stuff. And was not in Heidelberg. I think it might have been Cologne, but I'm not sure. And this guy was selling belts. He had belts that were pre-made, and then he had you could customize your belt. You could pick out the belt buckle and then pick out the leather, and he would cut it and size it to you right there, put on the belt buckle and like make it for you right there, and it would be custom. So I got 2 belts from him. Luke got like 3 or 4. And it was awesome. It was so cool. And it wasn't actually that much money like either. It was very affordable. I think like each of my belts was like $50 or something like that, but like real leather, like, you know, the kind of thing where you're like, I'm just gonna have this my whole life type thing. Adrox, thank you so much for the gifted subs. I love that kind of stuff, like custom hat making. Yeah, it was so cool. I wish I knew where to find more of that, because it's even hard if you go to like a farmer's market and stuff now, or like a little like craft market things, you see stuff and you're like, you realize this was all bought in bulk off of like Temu or Alibaba or Amazon or something. You're like, you didn't make these things, did you? Like people will sell like stickers in bulk, and some people make their own stickers, but then you go to other places and you're like, oh, do you design these stickers? Like, is this your art or whatever? And they're like, no, I buy them in bulk. And you're like, what? What are you talking about? That's so weird. Flying Cube, thank you so much for the 2 months. So I'm like, where do you get like, you know, actual handmade stuff? How they make and cut leather very satisfying. It is very satisfying. Yeah, like a child made these in a factory and I bought them for pennies on the dollar. Yeah, and then sold them at like a handmade craft market. I'm like, it feels weird. Hey, buddy. Hi. Obi's right underneath me. It's like with the Supreme break, you're not playing for the break itself, just brand. Yeah, and I get it. Like I went to business school and stuff, so I get it, but like I'm just not, it doesn't motivate me personally. And I think if you're okay with that, that's one thing. I think what makes me sad is seeing how many people actually, like I thought, like for example, I thought the thing with the markups with like luxury goods and like being manufactured, like I've been going to China since I was 18, something like that, and it was always a big thing when you go, where people would be like, oh, you should go to the factory malls where you buy the goods straight from the factories without the branding, and you get like the exact same thing just without the logo on it for like, you know, 10% of the price or something like that. And I never went because I also just didn't really care that much. I'm like, I don't really need a purse or anything. Like I didn't care. But I know a lot of people would go. So I just thought that was like, we all knew that. We all knew it was a crazy markup for the brand name. So that's what makes me sad, is like, if you know it's a markup and you're cool with that, cool. I feel bad that people don't know that it's a markup. And then afterwards they feel like really like cheated. They're like, oh, I had no idea. I thought I was paying for a high quality thing. And I'm like, that makes me sad. A custom-made dagger? That would be cool. We demand to see the kitty. You want to see little Obi? Obi! They want to say hi to you, Bubby. Can you come say hi? Hi, my little bub. He's gonna be like, say hi. I know. Oh, okay. Obi doesn't like to be contained. Go ahead. Okay. Yep, that's the best way to go. Hello, goodbye. Bubba, what happened? Were you sleeping and I woke you up? Were you sleeping? Come on, go back to sleep. That's okay, you can go back to sleep now. He looks so disgruntled. He was like, "What? Why did you do this?" Yeah, I'm technically not supposed to lift him because he is more than 10 pounds. But it's okay. It was brief. Hi, baby. He just gave like a little sneeze. It was so cute. Oh. He is a big boy. Luke is bigger though. He's also... So Lukey has had IBD, and we finally have him on like the right meds and the right food for him, and he's gained so much weight, so he is thickums. I gotta take a picture later of me like holding Luke up because it's really hilarious. He's a thick boy. Do. He's a thick nugget. Yeah, he really is. Thick with 5 C's. I'm definitely not allowed to carry Lukey now because he's like 18 pounds now, or 17 or 18 pounds. Yeah, OBI is how you spell it. I dream of dank memes. Thank you for the 55 months. A chonker. A true chunk. Obs. Obi, do you want to come say hi again real quick? Let me see. Let me get him. He's gonna lose his mind at me, but hold on. Hi. I know, but they want to see you. So just come say hi for 1 minute. Just say hi for one. No. Just say hi for 1 minute. Who is that boy? It's Obi. He's so handsome and he's so funny. I love Obi. He's so cute. I'm gonna give his nose a boop. Boop. Okay, go down before you cause chaos. I will say, he's doing this really cute thing lately where sometimes he'll be like, just about to cause chaos. He'll be like sitting on the ground looking up at me, about to cause chaos. And if I start singing to him in like a really like sweet voice, like I'm like, who's my little Obi? He's so cute. Then he will like settle down. And it's really cute. He will probably add to the scars soon. That's why I have to be very careful and clip his nails a lot. He's the worst too about going to the vet, but it's so funny because so he'll go to the vet and they'll take him back and like, you know, they did his like blood work and stuff recently. And so they had to take him in the back. And then they brought him out to the lobby where I was waiting for him. They have him in the carrier and he's like not facing me, so he didn't see me yet. And I go, Obi! And he like starts going, Rah! Rah! Like starts screaming in the lobby, and everyone was like, because he was like, Mom! And then as soon as like I had him in my arms, he was like, ah, okay. My little boy. Have you guys, has anyone else jumped on the trend of the Owala bottles? Because I'm pretty hooked on mine. So, Obi is the reason I even got these in the first place, by the way. It's a bottle that has a built-in straw and a free sip. So you can like tilt it and drink it normally, but there's also a straw built in, like, because I can't really drink without a straw. Like I can, but I just, you know, like I drink more and I drink better when I have a straw. I like a straw. But The problem with cups with straws, even if it's like a lid with a straw, when you knock them over, they still spill. And Obi knocks over every bottle. This has the straw, but under the lid, and you can like lock it. You can either carry it or you can lock it so it can't even be like accidentally pressed. So Obi can knock this thing over and send it flying, and it doesn't spill. So now I drink every single thing out of this. I have a couple of them because I'm like, we've like started eliminating like regular glassware in the house, and are just like, we just need to use these. Obi loves his springs. He's obsessed with springs. So we got a new rug in the like living room, family room type thing, and we had to move the couch back. And when we moved the couch back, there was a trove of like 500 springs underneath it. It was really funny. I was like, so that's where they all went. Oh, no, he's eating. Sticks, thank you so much for the 8 months. Glacian, thank you so much for the 2 months. Racing Phoenix, thank you for the 7 months. Obi has been breaking them one by one. Yep, that's actually way more accurate. That's true. I just do a Hydro Flask. A boot protector. Oh. I didn't have a Hydro Flask, so this is like the same thing, right? Another cooking stream in preparation. I want to do some fantasy cooking. Like, I have a Pinterest board of all like fantasy looking foods that I want to recreate. Instead of like just normal cooking. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Oh no. Oh no. It's that time in the stream. The British started coming out. Sorry. Can't help it. Let's see. I'm trying to find the Pinterest board so I can show you like some of the inspo things I want to make. Some of these photos, though I'm like realizing in retrospect, might actually be AI. Like they might not be, like someone might not have actually made them. You know? I'm unsure. It's getting harder and harder to tell. Like at first you could always tell. Now I'm like, I saw some AI photos of me and I'm like, oh, that's a good photo of me. And I'm like, oh, it's not a photo of me. Like, I should know. I never took that photo. I don't want to like encourage it, but there were some really cool ones. And I was like, oh. I was like, I look better there than I could have ever looked in real life. Let's see. Hi, Opie. Hi, my little bubby. Did you just have a good little snack? Was that nice? Oh, and that's a big stretch and a big yawn. Gus would approve of the British accent. Opie. Wanna say hi? Meow. You say hi? Meow. Okay. He looks so sleepy. He's a sleepy little boy. Well, anyways, I want to make some like fantasy food, you know? That looks like, I don't know, elven or something. Hurts my artist heart. I know. These aren't even like AI art. That like they're not meant to look like art of me. They're like they look like photos, which is what makes it creepy. Because I'm like, oh, that's me. Wait, no, that's not a real photo of me. Because I literally had a moment the other day where I was like, hey, I look really good in that photo, and I was like, That's why I look so good. It's not a photo of me. Lambus bread making stream. Oh my god, you guys. I have gotten into sourdough. That's how I burnt my hand. If you saw the photo I posted on my Instagram story where my hand was all wrapped up, I burnt my hand really badly making my sourdough. Love I've always loved sourdough bread, was too intimidated about the whole process of it, and then one day just was like, fuck it, we'll do it live, and started making sourdough. And now I'm deep into the sourdough. Haven't named my starter though, so if anyone wants to name him or her, feel free to throw out some ideas. We're in the sourdough phase. I know, I'm kind of surprised it took me this long to get here. Because like, I've always liked bread baking in general. But the idea of like, I'm just not a patient person. So the idea of like doing it so far in advance, it's always been a little tough on my little brain. How many days since last injury? I'm doing pretty good right now. Bread Pit. Oh, that's good. That's a good one. Breadney. I do like Breadney too. Finally a suitable name. Thank you for the 29 months. AI isn't to troll with people's lives and cause problems and frauds. Dude, I'm so fucking scared of AI. Honestly, I've already had like, you know, deep fakes and stuff of me for forever that people would just like Photoshop and be really bad Photoshop, etc. But now I'm just like, it's getting so bad. I'm like, I think about having kids one day and like them seeing all this stuff on the internet and them being like, seeing stuff that is not real, but is like indiscernible from reality. And I'm like, and I don't know what you do about it. Like, you know, like there's nothing I can do about it. So Bon Jovi is so good. Report the websites. I mean, you can, but it's just they just pop up more, and you know, like there's nothing you can do. Like there's nothing I can really do yet. So hopefully one day there'll be something, like there'll be some kind of, I don't know what you could possibly do. You think kids will just be instinctually able to tell AI from real? That is very optimistic. Because it's going to get better and better, and it's going to be like, you won't be able to tell the difference. I think about even now, for example, when people read the headline of an article and don't actually read the article, and then they just believe something is fact, and then you read the article or you read the study the article is based on, and you're like, this is not the truth. This is just a clickbait title, and it's very far from the truth. So I just feel like people will be very, very gullible to it. And I worry about, especially like my parents, my grandmother, like, you know, that are going to be less skeptical, like, you know, not know to be as, I don't know, to just like be more cynical and skeptical about things. Like I always worry about that. I remember during the pandemic, there was an article that my grandmother forwarded to us that got sent to her, and the headline was like toilet paper company going out of business, blah blah blah, and it was when everyone was like kind of hoarding things like that, and I like the way she sent it was kind of like a fear of like, oh my god, there's gonna be a toilet paper shortage, etc. Go into the article, then read what the article was referencing, and it was just about a really tiny like family run toilet paper company, very tiny, regional in like Vermont or something, like just one very small area that had already filed for bankruptcy like twice in like over the last, and it was just the pandemic kind of did it in when it came to production, because like it couldn't compete with like, you know, Bounty and like that kind of thing. But it was so misleading because the title, I can't remember exactly what the title was, but the title was like oh, there's going to be a shortage. Like toilet paper companies are going out of business type thing. And I just remember like my poor granny like is reading this and she's getting scared. And then you read the article and you're like, and then you read what the article is referencing and you're like, this is just not even what this is about. And it makes me so mad. I was expecting to be an Onion article. I think about that all the time because sometimes the Onion articles are like so good that it's like, this could just be a real article at this point. Like it's so close. And I just think about people, if you were here in the beginning of the stream when we talked about people who don't have a sense of humor or don't understand sarcasm, it may be to no fault of their own. Like even if it's culturally, it's like, it would be so easy to believe that. Clickbait makes me so mad. I've learned to really not trust any articles that are like if it's like first page Google search type articles, I just don't trust them. I'm like, I need a study, and I need ideally like a metadata study. Because then you're like, oh, this study like found that this is this, and then you go and read the study, and it's like 13. It's like a pool of like 13 people or whatever it's studying, and it's like only 13 people, and it only took place here, and it wasn't peer reviewed, and it wasn't double blind, and you're like, yeah, like I could have done a study that found anything in that format, you know? So because that's the other problem. People will then see like, oh, there's a study quoted, so it must be real, it must be science. It's like, not all studies are equal. People's children aren't even learning anymore. That's what kind of scares me is like with like kids using ChatGPT and stuff to do their homework. It's like not just about them not doing the work. It's that they don't know how to learn things. Theoretically, we have more tools than ever to learn, so we should be better at learning, but we're actually not so good at learning. And even if you're using something like a ChatGPT or any of those, like, you know, any kind of AI-based tool, they're not always 100% accurate. But if you don't have any, like, base knowledge yourself to be able to read through results or whatever, you're just going to take its word for everything, and then you're not going to notice when there's issues. All the news titles are clickbait. I know. And not just, like, news. It's all, like, the Instagram and, like, everything posts, you know, like those major accounts. Like I followed so many accounts a few years ago that were like meme accounts and they were funny, and now all of a sudden they're like posting all these like crazy clickbait things, and I'm like, okay, we gotta unfollow. I trust you more than politicians. We need people like you in government. No, don't trust me. I don't know shit. I don't know anything. Like I'm a musician. I haven't graduated college. Not that that means anything, but like, don't trust me. I live in a bubble of my own doing half the time. Like, you know, so I don't know what I don't know. And I don't even think I know what I know, you know? So don't trust me. Trust me that I don't know anything. To be fair, we aren't the greatest at teaching either. No. I think about this all the time. This is like a hill I will die on. I am so excited to have children one day and teach them math, because I was taught math really well, and I realized that like I have like a theory that like 90% of the time when people are like, I hate math, I'm bad at math, and there's like this stigma that people are just innately bad at math and math is tough. I just think the foundation is being taught wrong. And people are just not being taught math well to begin with, and it's all built on the same, like on one foundation. So if your foundation sucks, nothing else makes sense. And so I was taught, I had a really good foundation, and then everything else made sense. But then I've seen other people who like didn't understand the basic building blocks, and that's why everything else was difficult. But then if they went back and relearned the foundation clearly, math should be easy. There's a right answer. Like until you get like, I'm not talking about when you get up to real fancy math. I'm talking about like, you know, elementary school to high school level math is, you know, no, like algebra, etc. Like there is right and wrong answers, and you can check your work, etc. So it should be easier theoretically than like English or something else that's subjective. But I feel like we just don't teach people well. Like, we don't teach kids the foundations well. And then, like, every year we're just like, all right, time for the next class, time for the next class. And we don't go back and go like, oh, do you know the basics, the fundamentals? Yes, James, that's like, that sounds like so many people. I was fine with math as a kid, until I was sick during the week they taught multiplication. I returned, had no clue what was going on, and was behind since. By the time math clicked again in my teens, I had a hatred for it after so much struggle. Yeah, I think that's the thing, is it like makes people miserable. So I'm really lucky. I went to a type of school called a Montessori school from when I was 3 years old to 8th grade, so before high school. And so I was there from age 3 to 13, 14. So, and the thing with Montessori school is very much they let you, there is a curriculum and everything, but you learn at your own pace. There's a lot of individuality in it. So if you were behind in something, the teachers would take extra time with you to really teach you that thing. And if you didn't understand it the way that it was being taught in class, they would reframe it. They would, work with you to make you able to understand it. There's a no kid left behind type thing. And if you were ahead, so by the time I got to middle school, I was actually ahead in math because I had a neighbor who was like teaching me math over the summer. He started out tutoring me to like give me a refresher. He was very, very smart. And then his teaching style really clicked with me. So he started teaching me ahead. And then at the time I thought I wanted to go to an engineering high school. So I wanted to be really good at math. I wanted to get ahead of math. And so I went back in for 7th grade and I was really ahead. And then a kid that transferred into our school was also ahead because his school, he was in like, my school was really small. So we only had one math class type thing. His school was bigger. So he was like a grade ahead in math. So he came in and he was also ahead of math. So I remember we would sit in a different area of the classroom and we'd have a trigonometry book while everyone else was learning algebra, or I don't remember exactly what it was. And we'd be self-teaching ourselves this, and the teacher would come over if we had questions, explain things, and help and work with us and kind of go. She was basically running 2 classes at the same time. But it wasn't like, oh, you get this, so you have to sit in the class and just like be bored. It's like, no, spend your time doing something else. So it was so cool. I feel so very, very lucky that I went to that school. I think that really fostered my love of learning and curiosity because my curiosity was never once, what's the word I'm looking for? Like stifled, I guess, in any way. I was a nut job. I was such a nerd. I'm obviously still a nerd, but I was such a dork. Like when I was in 5th grade, when I was 10, I was like reading science textbooks. I don't know why. And I don't know why, but I found like something about methane or something. And I like, in my 10-year-old brain was like, I have solved global warming. Like I've got it. I've figured it out. And the middle school science teacher, but I had all these questions and I was so curious. And I remember asking my teacher and they were like, well, you should ask this teacher. Like, and it was the middle school science teacher who I was very intimidated by. But then I went up to her and I was like, hey, I have a bunch of these questions about science. And like, these specific things. And she was like, oh, ask your mom. And like one day, if you want to stay after school, like I'll, answer any questions you have. And I remember after school one day that week, I like stayed after and she stayed after. She didn't have to. I'm not even her student at this point. And just for no reason other than my own stupid curiosity, just spent a couple of hours like teaching me about chemistry that I hadn't learned yet or anything like that. It wasn't like, oh, you'll learn it next year or you'll learn it in 2 years. It wasn't, don't worry about this, you'll learn it later, anything like that. Just gave me all the time in the world, answered all the questions I had, and it was awesome. And I think if more kids had that, they'd be more curious. W teacher, truly the best teacher. She was also awesome because she was like the co-director of the school. We didn't have a principal, we had directors. She was the co-director of the school. And in this school too, we called our teachers by their first names. There's respect was the biggest thing, not fear of teachers. And so the teachers would, if you were doing something bad, like if you were acting out in class, it wasn't like, hey, sit down. Like there was no yelling, there was none of that. It was, but she had a look that like did kind of like scare you but she never raised her voice. Her voice was always very quiet. It was always kind of like this. And like she would be, and like she'd be like, Christina, do you think that's appropriate behavior in the classroom right now? And you would just like immediately feel like, oh, it was so much scarier than getting yelled at, but like not scary in a bad way. It was just, you felt really bad immediately. Or she would ask you and you'd have to answer. She'd be like, how do you think your behavior is affecting your classmates right now? And you can just be like, oh, I'm sorry. Like she'd be like, no, how do you think your behavior is affecting? And you have to be like, it's probably distracting. And it was so humbling. Yeah. I was in a mathematical class in high school and it was the best. Everyone was smart. See, that's really fun. It was definitely the I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed vibes. I also, to no surprise, probably no surprise for everyone, I talked a lot in school, and that sometimes distracted me because I would talk a lot during class. And so I remember this was when I was younger, like I was in like 2nd grade, 3rd grade, so I was like 7, 8 years old. And I remember the teacher being like, you can't focus in a classroom with other people. You're talking. So I would have to sit in the hallway. You know, I'd have like a little rug and everything. Like it wasn't like in a bad way, and do the work there so I could do it in quiet. But she's the reason I didn't fall behind. And it wasn't kind of like a punishment, you know, it was kind of like a, hey, this is what you need to do to be able to learn and focus. And I probably would have fallen so behind if that teacher hadn't done that. She could have just gotten mad at me and like punished me and sent me to principals or whatever, but like she didn't. She was like, no, you're going to do this. You're going to learn this. You're going to do the class. You just need a different environment. It was so cool. No, Phil, that's a really good point. I think that is one of the bummers, like, is when you have, I've seen that in you know, I'm sure the younger level, it's really crucial, but even at the college level, I remember I had kids in my school who were transfers, or not transfers, but foreign students, and they would come in and English was not their first language, and I just remember being like, I can barely write this essay. How are you gonna write this essay? And it wasn't like English is not their first language, but they speak it really, really fluently. It's like their English was very broken, and I just remember being like, how do you even, like, I barely understand what the teacher's saying. How are you grasping all like the little details of what the teacher's saying? And obviously this was on a college level, but I was, you know, on an elementary school level, that must be impossible. Phone be ringing? How did you guys know? You always know. Do, do, do. Weekend. Okay, I'm back. We always hear it. I decided to be an engineer, great teacher in physics. I ended up being so bad at physics in high school, and I thought I would love physics because I love math, and for some reason physics did not click with me. I had a really hard time. My stomach's growling so loud. I thought I wanted to go to there was an engineering high school near where I was, or it was like a specialized high school, and it had different academies, and there was one of those academies was engineering, and I remember going to the open house, and I was the only girl at the open house, and I was just like, you know, I can be a little tomboyish. I tend to have more guy friends than girlfriends, but like, entirely male Like, I don't know if that's my thing, you know? I was like, this feels weird. So I was like, nope. And then I ended up going to an all-girls high school, which was just as weird, you know, just in a different way. Physics are great. It's just using math. Yeah, I don't know what happened to me with physics. I thought I would be so good at physics because I was so good at math. And it just did not click for some reason. But I was also at that point, I was in against the current. So I think I was a little distracted and not paying as much attention in school in general anyway. Especially in engineering high school in Jersey, do you look at mass? No, not mass. It was, I think it was like Bergen Academies, it was called. Yes, because they had actually a theater one as well that I thought about. But the kids that go into that thing were unbelievable, like future Broadway stars, etc. And it was just like, that was never my thing as much. And then so I went to look at the engineering school, which was now it's called Engineering Design Technology. I don't remember if it was called that back then, but yeah. But I went to that one open house and I was like, never mind. I was way too intimidated. What is the thing you like to read? Like, from where do you get your info now? Oh, everywhere, I guess. I liked, like I kind of talked about earlier, I like to read a lot of studies. I don't like to take anything at face value. Especially like if the study is like a metadata study. I like to read books. I feel like it's not always 100% true, but I feel like if someone goes through the effort of making a book on a topic, they've at least done a bit more research. Doesn't mean you should just like blindly believe them too. You know, technically anyone can write a book, but like the effort that goes into a book is usually a bit more, and just, I don't know, listening to experts talk about things. My high school year field trip. Yeah, of course I remember it. That was my first time going overseas. You know what? It's so funny because it was overseas to the UK. And I had no idea at that point how impactful the UK would be on my life and how frequently I would be there after that. That was my first time going. So I had neck surgery. I had surgery on my spine. I got a disc replacement for a severely herniated disc. I was having too much fun. Yeah, definitely a higher entrance, but there's still like conspiracy theory books and things like that that are kind of like rooted in chaos too. Like sometimes things sell for their ridiculousness, right? So you just gotta like, I'm not saying be skeptical, but be, what's the word I'm looking for? Critical, I guess? Not in like a mean critical way, but just, what does that surgery do? So it takes, so in my spine, it was between my C5 and my C6 disc, and there's, or vertebrae, and there's a disc between it that keeps them spaced out. And basically the disc, it kind of all collapsed, the disc came out. So what they do is they like reopen the discs and they take the old disc out and they put a new disc in that keeps the space between the vertebrae. And it moves like, it's not a fusion where they like kind of fuse the discs together. It actually like moves and everything like a normal disc. My mom deeply believes in the wildest conspiracy theories. I love when parents do. It's awesome. I'm the best person, by the way, to like introduce to someone that has like a very deep rooted reality in a conspiracy theory that's like ridiculous, because I will 1000% go along with it. I'm like, fuck yeah, what's the rabbit hole we're going down? I packed my headlamp, let's go. I'm in. Like, tell me all about it. I love it. Like, give it to me. I don't necessarily believe it, but I'm in. I'm invested. Okay, well that's tough. I'll give you that. That, maybe not that. I was going more for like the ones who believe like, I don't know, that like Avril Lavigne is not really Avril Lavigne. Like she died in like 2004 or something like that. Like those kind of, I love those ones. That's what pigeons are government spies. Yeah, like that kind of thing. I feel so bad for the pigeons though. You ever hear about the pigeon lore that we just like fucking abandoned them? Like, Makes me so sad. I really want a bird. I was all in Ancient Aliens when I was small. I love those kind of shows. See, those are the things that I'm like, yes, give me more. You've never seen a baby pigeon before? What does baby pigeon look like? I need to look this up now. Baby. Oh, they're so little. Wait, yeah, why have I never seen one though? Mystery solved. Why you've never seen a baby pigeon? Let's learn. Here's the answer. Baby pigeons spend a relatively long time in the nest, as much as 4 to 5 weeks. When they're finally ready to fledge, they look just like adult pigeons. That's why it's rare to see a baby pigeon in the wild. By the time they leave the nest, they're indistinguishable from their parents. That sounds like what they want you to... That sounds like what the government would say if they don't want you to be suspicious of the lack of baby pigeons. You've also never seen an ad for a microwave. You know what? That's a great point. I have never seen an ad for a microwave. Toaster ovens for sure. Have you ever seen a baby raccoon? Not in person, but on the internet. Nest equals factory. It takes them 5 weeks to build the spy pigeons and otters. Write that down. My favorite one is that the dinosaurs were actually dragons. Oh! Of course they were. I'm so in on that. You're not going to tell me that the flying dinosaurs aren't just dragons? What's the difference? You've taken care of a baby pigeon. What are some of the most unhinged conspiracy theories you guys know about? Ideally funny ones. Give me a good one. Giants were real. I can see it. The Fruit of the Loom logo apparently never had the cornucopia. Those things drive. What are those? What's that phenomenon called? When we all like collectively remember something and it wasn't that way? I don't believe that. It had a cornucopia. There's just like no way. Finland doesn't actually exist. My mom believed the earth was bowl-shaped. Hey, she's doing her own thing, you know? Some people think it's round, some people think it's flat. Mom thinks it's a bowl. I'm in. Legit though, why does the Chinese zodiac have all real animals and a dragon? Because they're real animals. Clearly. Moon is made of cheese. I'm in. Blue, black dress, or yellow, gold. That one was objectively blue, black though. Everyone's got to chill with that one. Like, it's proven blue, black. It's just the photo made it look weird. That's why they see them as balls as adults remember them as shapes. Wait. Were tricks in shapes? I never had tricks. Disney created Frozen to muck up search results for Disney having a frozen head. Wait, what? What? What's the frozen head? It's a simulation. I like simulation theory. The Earth is actually just a shape of a burger. I'm in on that. Why do you have more biceps on your arm than your left than your right? This is my right. Well, one, I'm right-handed, but two, this was the side I had no feeling on for like 5 months, so I could have a little muscle atrophy on this side. I did not watch Inside Job. That sounds great. Moon landing ain't real. I do wonder about that if the first one was staged. I don't think that's that crazy of like a theory. I was wondering if Katy Perry really was going to go to space. I was like, what if she's not really going to space? What if it's all fake? No feeling, because yeah, when I had my herniated disc before I got it fixed, I like lost feeling in this arm. I was dropping stuff all the time. Best bird raven. Oh, I want a raven so bad. I love ravens. Kanye is just crazy. What is happening with him? Not to like, wait. Not to be nosy, but what the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? My biggest conspiracy theory is that Riot Games is actually a video game company. Riot Game. I love medieval fantasy music. He's so unhinged on Twitter. Oh, I don't go on Twitter. I cannot be doing that. I never liked it in the first place, and now it's just the worst. You know what? I think in general, I'm against text-based social media. I don't need to hear everyone's thoughts or what they're up to. And if I have to hear your thoughts, I want to see a nice picture. At least format it well, you know? Like, give me a nice, you know, a nice colorful background or something. Put it over a moody photo. But if I just have to read your thoughts, no. No, I don't want that. A meme is worth 10,000 words. Depends on what you follow. I mostly get pictures and short videos. Oh, I don't know what I follow. I don't... Oy. Yet you're reading chat. Well, because we're talking. We're in a conversation. It's a two-way street, you know? Chat has great emotes. That's true. I need more emotes. Prefers picture to words. Understood. Yes, exactly. Wait, my own emotes are locked for me? Because I'm not logged in here? Oh my gosh. How can I be streaming to something and not have the emotes unlocked? I like dropping the chef emote. Every time I spit bars, we need to drop the chef emote. Chrissy cooked here, you know? Oh! I think I asked this before, but then I never looked back at the answer. Has anyone played Age of Wonders 4? Because I'm so fucking into it now. I love Age of Wonders. What? And I don't like it so much? What? I love it. It's like a simpler Total War Warhammer in a way. It's so fun. I'm so into it. All about Rivals. I like Rivals too. Bum ba ba ba. I still need to get to Divinity Original Sin 2. Woo! Divinity is my favorite game ever. I still like the first one better personally though. Mr. Sen, thank you for the 4 months. No, what game coming from the Stardew Valley dev? I have been following though the RuneScape thing that just dropped yesterday. The alpha just dropped. What is it? It's like Dragon Wilds. What is it? It's like an MMO or something, right? Dragon Wilds on Steam. Whoa, does not have good. It has weird reviews already. haven't played Path of Exile 2. I only played the first one. You should read the Bible. It's a very good book. Really, evil versus good. I have actually read the Bible. I had to take a Bible studies class in my, because the all-girls school, high school I went to was a Catholic school. So I have read that thing. Squirrel, the year of the 43 months. What games do you like to play? We forgot about. I feel like I have just a very eclectic taste in games. Like, I like playing a wide variety of games. Depends on the mood I'm in. I don't feel like I stick to one genre. But I tend to lean less shooter types, more, if I can, like a sword and sorcery type. Like, I would prefer to do stuff with like magic than guns. There's a very loud alarm going off. What is that? There's like an alarm. I'm trying to figure out what it is. I don't know. I did. I played through Baldur's Gate 3. I really liked it. I still like Divinity better, though. James, thank you for the 51 months. How do you dust all the stuff on your shelves? I don't. The dust is part of the character. It's the government. They're after us after exposing the truth about the spy pigeons. Ah, that's true. I started Elden Ring, but I'm too dumb for that. It was not meant for me. Not me, not Hermione, you. If I can beat Elden Ring, certainly, you certainly can. Maybe. I don't know. You mauled? I don't want to mauled. Aristorn, thank you so much for the sub. I play card games, fantasy strategy games, Total War. Warhammer is currently unhealthy. I love Warhammer! I love those games. I love League. I love TFT. I love Valorant. I love Divinity. What TV shows have you been watching? I just watched The Empress. More peaceful games like Minecraft. Minecraft is not peaceful. It can be, but then it can also be full of jump scares. I always end up dead. I'm so deep in TFT right now. I need to give this new set another chance before I write it off. Starting up my Warhammer. Let's go. I do not understand the appeal of Minecraft. You need a group of friends to just like go out and beat the not the Elder Dragon, the Ender Dragon with, and it's like it's the friends and the community and the building and stuff, you know? Currently playing TFT and my climbing has been so cursed. Really? The Elder Dragon. Yeah, you don't even need to be the Ender Dragon. Honestly, me and my friends, we had a server and we just like built our like houses and we would go out on adventures together and it was so fun. I am sleepy. It's not nap time though. I do have to go because I've got a couple of meetings this afternoon, so I do have to be on my merry way soon. About now. And I need to eat. I haven't eaten breakfast, so I need to eat lunch. But I will be streaming more often, so I will let you know when. I'm thinking potential Friday. So I will give you more of a heads up. But thanks for hanging out. Also, even like either in Discord or I don't want to say tweet me because I won't look. So probably in Discord is the best place. Give me some suggestions on what games you would want to play, because I have like there's so many games that I would love to play, but I don't know what people actually like to watch, so let me know. All right, bye guys, love you, thanks for all the subs, thanks for hanging out, thanks for the chats. Have a good rest of your day. I will see you later.